Oh, no.
Oh.
Well, my dudes, it looks like we're breaking the streak of increased production value.
I know there's a glitch in the system. It looks like speed might be back sooner or later.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hit go live and it just didn't say that it was going live, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Well, I'm gonna stop the timer, and then it said live as soon as I stopped it. And you know what? Whatever, we'll forget it.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna increase production value by doing the other thing, doing the banner.
Oh, the banner. Yeah, I still like this banner a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
And now that we've gotten to the part in the video, that everyone's seen it, it makes sense. It's canonical.
We need to custom theme these banners for like based upon if we're talking to Maddox or Smokey or whoever.
What do you mean? Like if we're just like watching a video, or like if
Yeah.
we're directly talking to them?
If the video is devoted to like if the video is devoted to the whole Smokey or Maddox or whoever.
Yeah. But yeah, tonight is just a late night stream. We're gonna try to finish the Smokey thing that we started on Saturday. And I think also Immutable, you said that you want to do like some weather report stuff, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if we do that before or after. Well, I don't know. Should we do it before or after? Let's see.
Either way, is there anything particularly interesting? I guess we can just go ahead.
Yeah. Nothing too interesting. It's just that the Smokey is still going after Otangelo. Professing him not to be a false Christian. Professing him to be a false Christian, rather, because he refused to call out Joel. So things are getting fairly intense with
things are heating up with Smokey.
Oh yeah, and for those of you that are peripherally paying attention to his channel, a few recent videos of Smokey's have received quite a bit of downvotes.
Oh really?
Yeah, if you like his most recent video, I hate those who hate the Lord, change my mind, has received 23 upvotes and 31 downvotes.
Wow. Yeah, it seems like he's a very insightful. When I say insightful person, I don't mean like big brained. I definitely wouldn't call Smokey big brained. I mean like he incites strong emotions from people.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people have noticed about him and pointed out, like the reason he's ineffective is because this whole emotional noise term, like he brought into existence and is kind of like capitalized on, is what he uses against other people. Like his stance against other people is like, oh, you don't share the same values as me, and oh, you didn't think Cuties, you thought Cuties was a great movie. You're fucking horrible pieces of, disgusting shit, stuff like that. It's like,
yeah. I don't know a single person who's been like, yeah, Cuties was an amazing movie, but most people are just like, I mean, it wasn't pedo porn. Like that's the most I've seen people defending people. Yeah.
No, that's the thing. Like most people will acknowledge, like, no, it's not pedo porn. Like you really have to stretch it to make, like, to get it to go there. But to Smokey, even that, right, is being too liberal about the movie.
Yeah. No Direction asks, which marginalized group is Smokey wishing death upon now? It's actually the younger creationists. It's funny as hell.
I know. It's the thing is, right, what's so weird is that it seems that Smokey partially understands like that the Holy Spirit manifests itself in different ways to different people, but that people shouldn't be obliged like to do things the way that he does things. And I would encourage people not to, because Smokey's method is terribly inefficient.
Yeah.
Even if does know a lick of philosophy, it's not going to help him because his methodology, like the way and systemics, the way he goes about it is just fucking horrible.
Yeah, he's so vitriolic. It's honestly pretty funny. I do find that amusing. He's fun to like keep up with, but I don't like giving his channel views. So sometimes I'll just watch like The Rage or something.
The irony with his channel, right, is that suppose for a moment that Smokey did make good arguments, right, that he was actually a reasonable person. People would never get that far with him because Smokey's, let's call it, behavior and attitude is so toxic and vitriolic that you immediately like would give people such a harsh negative perspective of you that they wouldn't be open to hearing what you have to say.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I completely agree. That's why, I don't know, I generally try to be nicer when I'm engaging with people unless I think they're kind of worthless like Smokey, which in that case, I just don't talk to them.
No, it's like punching a person in the face and then expecting them to be your friend.
Yeah, but no, it's pretty funny. He's been going after the X. So he started with Joel, the SFB mod dude, and then he went after Shadow Dancer again. I can only imagine how many times he called her a whore or something. Did he go after Nicholas, or did he have a conversation with Nicholas?
I don't know. Like, Nicholas is actually one of the people for God knows what reason
that supports Smokey.
Yeah, Nicholas supports Smokey. But then again, I do worry about Nicholas in a loving way because Nicholas, he's a nice guy, right? Like that he's a sweetheart. But honestly, the guy,
I think he definitely,
even when he was about Smokey, he didn't understand the basics of like presuppositional apologetics, but he knew he liked it.
Yeah,
it's like what?
I think Nicholas is definitely he's an enabler for someone like Smokey, you know, because like I said, I remember I was in the live chat for some debate on Standing for Truth's channel, I think, and Smokey was just like ripping into to Shadow Dancer, and he was like calling her like a moronic whore and all that other shit that he always does, and then I just said like Smokey has small pee-pee, and Nicholas he's like, can we please avoid what do you say? He's like, can we please avoid profanity in here? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, hello, Scott.
Hey guys, can you hear me? I'm getting buffering, but
I can hear you, but I also hear the stream going on in your background.
Yeah, it might be playing.
But no, so Smokey has essentially gone after SFB mod, Shadow Dancer, Nephilim Free, Otangelo Grosso, and Praise I Am That I Am, and maybe Nicholas. I don't know.
It's unless I'm just like being retarded. Has Shadow Dancer been like active in the community for any like recently?
I know she took a break for a while, probably because he's extremely toxic. Yeah, it's buffering for me too. I just checked the live chat.
Yeah, the thing is, like with Shadow Dancer, I don't doubt she's a good person, but like, she's just a person. She's a woman who served in the military that doesn't know jack about shit about science. So,
yeah, I don't know. The whole buffering problem might be a YouTube thing. I know they've been having YouTube was like shut down yesterday or something. It was really strange.
Yeah, it was completely shut down for a while.
Yeah. So I think YouTube might just be having problems. Maybe the live stream will still upload fine. We'll see.
I did manage to pull something interesting.
Oh, really? For a weather report?
Oh yeah. This is a comment from Joel. Remember, he's a scientist. Keep that in mind while I share this.
So what? Plasma physicist and space engineer.
Well, remember what he said, right? That he worked as a what did he say again? He worked in general relativity. For
relativity, yeah.
Oh shit. Okay,
the important bit has been highlighted.
Oh, we scientists never rely on scholarly references because those are only for useless academics. What? In science, we prefer to rely on what's actually repeated and observable. What is he talking about? Is he trying to make a distinction between scientists and academics?
Yeah, that's his fantasy science of what
the thing
Science
is
in his head.
if you read it carefully, he actually contradicts himself, right? And he doesn't notice it because, okay, SFB mod, where the hell do you think these observable measurements come from?
Where does he say that? Oh, just the second sentence.
Yeah, he says, we prefer to rely on what's actually repeatably observable. And it's like, okay, where do you think these results come from? Right? That for the most part, they're the result of people doing basic research in academia.
It's the useless academics.
It's the useless academics that you're so passionately critiquing in this little thread. So
Also,
I don't know where you think these numbers you're getting are coming from, because they're not just being poofed out of nowhere. Like, I don't get.
That's very strange. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's very telling to say, like, we scientists never rely on scholarly references. What is he talking about? Can you imagine, like, a world where scientists just don't share their data?
Yeah,
like, everything you discover, you're not allowed to, like, rely on anyone else. We would be stuck in the dark ages.
No, and here's the fun thing about that too, is that if you were to publish a paper with no references, right, like as is being like implied, or as is being suggested by SFB mod right now, your work won't be taken seriously.
You get fucking choke slammed by the other scientists.
Oh
dude.
yeah, you're gonna get called the fuck out, and number two, you're gonna lose all credibility, and nobody's gonna take you seriously because you've cited no supporting work to establish your hypothesis. And for all people know, essentially, you could actually be in serious trouble because you could be guilty of plagiarizing from other people's work that you didn't even know existed, or that you failed to cite.
Yeah, well, you'd never even get published in the first place. Like, if you tried writing a paper without sources, yeah.
No, but like, if you were to, right, by some miracle, yeah, it's just. Yeah, that's not the way science works. It's abundantly obvious, like, that Joel has never worked in quantum mechanics or general relativity or any other form of weird physics.
It's abundantly obvious that he's never done anything maybe outside of high school physics, if even that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's not. It's very telling, to say the least.
Yeah, and especially the way he talks about certain things too, because it's like. So he made a claim once in chemistry about so let me preface this. Like that that adenosine diphosphate reacts with phosphate to make ATP, right?
Yeah.
But you also know that's energetically unfavorable, right?
Well, yeah, that's why you break ATP bonds.
Yeah. So here's a fun little fact, and well, not fact, but what Joel was claiming and he thought to be fact.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, and this is news to me, if you put a nucleotide, if you put like a nucleoside, so you put a nitrogenous base in a sugar, and you put it in phosphate, right, in a phosphate buffer solution, or just phosphate solution, apparently it'll just keep phosphorylating infinitely.
Oh my god.
It'll just keep going. And I tried to explain to him, like, no, the reason it's not favorable, like, when you get to triphosphate, is because you're not making that much energy from that bond. Like, it's like kinetic, like thermodynamically, it's a stable process, but kinetically, it's very
unfavorable. Yeah.
Yeah, kinetically, it's unfavorable because you're adding charge to that molecule. You're increasing the amount of negative charge on that original molecule.
Yeah,
and that's stabilizing it.
Which makes sense, obviously. Yeah, because Speed just found out he's doing a live stream apparently.
Yep.
Which, yeah, obviously, like, cells wouldn't be able to use that as an energy currency if it was thermodynamically favorable. Looks like Leo saw the email.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense chemically, right? Like, there's a limit to certain, like, chemical processes, and it just no process in chemistry keeps going on infinitely, and the reason for that is the Fatliers principle.
Well, what about like free radical reactions and shit?
Even they will terminate because eventually you'll reach
You just
something
run
that
out of stuff.
yeah, eventually you'll reach something that will react with the parent radical. I call it. It's not the proper term, but yeah, if free radical chemistry is not my forte.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn some of it because you have to in Orgo, but it's actually quite interesting. Like, because up to that point, you don't think about chemical reactions as anything but just transferring a pair of electrons instead of a single electron.
Also, Speed, I will say, whenever I was texting you earlier today, I said Immutable was wanting to finish responding to Smokey's video tonight. So here we are.
This is not news to anybody except for Speed.
Yeah, well, he has the link. So yeah, if he wants to join in. Oh shit, he's here and he copied your avatar.
He copied my avatar. The fucking imposter. God damn it.
That happened yesterday too. I was going to make a comment about.
Yeah, what the hell's up with that?
It's because we have 3 people trying to use the same account.
Change your fucking avatar.
We're twins. How do I do that? I don't know how to do that.
Whenever you're jumping into the stream.
And before you enter, go to the change your icon thing.
Yeah, it says edit avatar, but
yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, that's whatever.
I ain't gonna be around that long. I just wanted. It was so weird. I popped up YouTube while I was talking to my sister. It's like, what the fuck? I'm doing a live stream.
Yeah. Well, welcome to your live stream.
So Joel, the part I caught what you were talking about and that bullshit about repeatable results, he keeps saying we discovered and we did this, we are scientists, right? So he believes he's a boots on the ground real scientist.
Yeah, he was literally saying we scientists never rely on scholarly references.
That's
like how stupid is that?
Because I say we all the time, yet nobody ever criticizes me for saying it.
Well, we're going.
How often do you say we scientists? Do you call us scientists?
We were just indulging you, Leo.
Yeah. We're just.
The funny thing is when I say we, I mean the whole of humanity, because I don't think science is something for scientists. It's for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's context dependent. He literally said we scientists. Like, those were the first 2 words of his sentence.
Well, he says things like, we discovered that, relative, something about fucking quantum mechanics. No, you did not. You were laying cable at SpaceX. You weren't fucking... I suppose you could use relativity to lay Ethernet cable.
Well, remember, Speed, he was hired, right? According to him, his job description was relativity for SpaceX.
Yeah. Well, when you lay cable, like Ethernet cable... You have to consider, like with a long cable, the time space time is going to shrink a little bit or something because the electron going speed of light. I don't know. So you have to cut the cable just the right length.
Yeah,
you got to use Lorentz equations and stuff to calculate that stuff. So
yeah,
is what still buffering?
The stream was having a hard time loading for people, but I think YouTube is just taking a shit.
It's YouTube. It's probably
it was fine for me.
Problems from what was happening yesterday.
Yeah. What even was that? Do you know?
I don't know. I thought it was only me. I thought it was an issue with my connection.
No, it was everybody. It was all YouTube. It was probably something going on with their servers.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Because I thought, like, when it first happened, I'm like, Jesus, did I piss YouTube off? Like, what the fuck happened? Like, it's not fucking.
You didn't pay your YouTube bill.
It's not low. What did I do?
They became a subscription service.
YouTube was down yesterday for what, a couple hours?
It was a while.
It wasn't down for me at all, but
I know Dr. Dan was kind of worried about being able to get his live stream out because it was around that time.
Yep.
If I feel up to it, I'm making a new video tomorrow. It won't be live streamed, but I will probably premiere it. I don't know when I'll ever actually get around to doing live streams and stuff because the quality of my video is complete shit, and I can't do any of my like Dr. Eigenstate explains unless and until I get like an iPad that I can sync with my Mac so that I can draw, because I'm not going to attempt to use a motherfucking mouse because that's going to look like shit.
Well, I've honestly sort of discovered that I prefer like the pre-recorded scripted videos because it's easier to like present your points in a concise and understandable way. I have a hard time like freewheeling, huh?
Well, maybe for you in terms of producing content. For me, I don't do scripts. I never have and I never will. I know Erica doesn't usually script notes, but I won't do a script.
Well, I know like Erica and Dan don't really script their videos, but it's still nice to be able to like edit stuff down, and I don't know. I like it.
Certain videos I will probably be doing editing. A lot of them I won't because I prefer free-flowing conversations, and I think that the audience feels like they're more actually in a conversation with that person rather than being lectured by that person boringly.
That's fair. That's why I don't make the lectures boring.
I don't know. There's times like where I feel like being lectured to, in the sense that like I want the information to be concise, clear, and to the fucking point. Like there's certain videos where it's like that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it depends on the topic for sure.
Show me what the Euler-Lagrange equation is, how the fuck to use it, and what it means. Great, thank you.
But do you want to go ahead and get started on the Smokey video?
Yep.
Which one are you doing? Wait, you're doing the one from the other night? You're continuing?
Yeah, apparently we haven't even gotten to the best part of it yet.
According to Immutable. It gets worse. Holy shit, does it get worse?
Yeah.
Do you want me to share it, or are you going to share it? I'm fine either way.
You can share it if you want to. Okay.
Why the fuck is there a context tab from Wikipedia on the flat Earth attached to this video, to this stream?
To our stream?
Yes.
What? Say what?
Let me reload and say, okay, it went away. I don't know what the fuck that was for, but yeah, that was there.
Huh. Wow. I've noticed that on like some of Simon Dan's stuff.
Apparently, we're being we're also going to be flat earthers. Jesus.
Maybe it just thinks that like conspiracy stuff, and then, or like it hears creationists, and they're just like, well, they're conspiratorial people.
I'm sticking some content out there. I'm gonna go sit in a chair and watch you guys, and you better fucking be good. And foreskin, and what is the change that I didn't approve about foreskin? It's foreskin. Yeah.
No, to stop is still foreskin, but to start is now aft skin, because aft is the opposite of fore.
I still like circumcision for starting, but I guess
that works as well.
You got a point.
Well, I mean, so you could say circumcision, that you're cutting off the conversation there and starting it back.
The only other one that I could consider would be mizzen skin.
No,
because you have your foremast, your aft mast, and then your mizzen mast.
For tonight, I will be accepting aft skin or circumcision, and we will see which one flows better.
Okay, and remember, when you say foreskin, say it loudly, please. Don't make me come and yell at you guys. So, okay, guys, I had a long day. I'm gonna bail. Okay.
All right,
how the fuck do we get out of this place? Oh,
you hit leave studio. Do not hit end broadcast. All right, cool. Okay, so let me share my screen. I swear to God, if I share the wrong tab. All right, y'all good?
I can hear your laptop clicking. Get yourself a fucking mouse, dude. It's 2020.
Me? I have a mouse. It's just honestly more convenient to use.
A mouse. They do way better. I fucking have never liked trap pads. They're so goddamn annoying.
Well, it's just okay. So I had a wired mouse back at home, and it's still here. It's just I don't plug it in. I only have 2 USB ports. One of them goes to my mic, and then also like if I'm carrying my computer around and stuff, it's just kind of annoying to like, hey, let me take out my mouse first. I just...
That's why you get one that doesn't have a cord.
I don't know. I have like a laser gamer mouse.
You can get Bluetooth mice.
That is true, but I still have a super fancy like laser gamer mouse from back in my gamer days in like 10th and 11th grade of high school.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah, to the surprise of no one. All right, you all ready to start? Circumcision?
Yep.
Is this the format is weird? Hopefully YouTube's not being YouTube might be being
There you
stupid.
go.
We'll
It's fine.
see.
Looks good. I don't think you shared the sound because I hear nothing.
God damn it. You're right.
God damn it, Walker. Now you're pulling speed. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, I think it's only appropriate.
Wow. You guys,
Okay. This is
guys are-
deliberate.
Are
Okay.
you guys noobs or what?
I'm
You know,
what's
this
supposed
is
to
like
talk
my
about
third
it, not
stream
what I
run.
told- This is supposed to be quality content here, okay?
Yeah, we gotta fix that. All right, sick.
Or version of infinitely passive Christianity, and you, sir, well, I reject that. Now, I would like you to finally, please, answer my question. Are you a Trinitarian or no?
Yes, I'm a Trinitarian. Can you put that versicle again on the screen,
Sure.
please?
Absolutely. Happily.
Okay. To who was that directed? By
The magician
Apostle Paul?
who was attempting to subvert and attack and paganize the scriptures or the
Okay.
gospel.
Okay, so he was not a believer, correct?
Well, I guess that depends how you want to parse that. I mean,
was
he
not
was
a Christian, correct?
sure. I'll go with that. Sure, absolutely.
Okay. So what was the outcome or the result of that?
Well, it says, now behold, the hand of the Lord is upon you, and you will be blind and not see the sun for a time. And immediately a mist and a darkness fell upon him, and he went about seeking those who could lead him by the hand. He was
Wait, so foreskin. So a little bit of context. I missed the end of last conversation. Is this like so? There was like a magician dude, and then Paul was like, "Yo, you're a fucking liar. I'm just gonna make you blind." Is that the quote?
I've never read the Book of Acts, so I'm not familiar with this particular story.
Yeah, it's been like 5 years since I've read the Bible cover to cover, so it's been a bit.
I never read the Bible cover to cover. I didn't need that long to figure out it was bullshit, but that's okay.
Fair enough.
I did. I kind of wish I didn't, but I did.
Some parts of it are interesting,
We have a
honestly.
We have a guest.
Aw, hi Kitty.
Her name is Stella.
Hello, Stella. Welcome to the stream.
Ella! Sorry, that was from a movie.
That was from Streetcar Named Desire.
No, it's from Over the Hedge. It's from Over the
I'm
Hedge.
glad you have that cultural reference.
No.
Streetcar Named Desire or Over the Hedge.
No, it's Over the Hedge. Stella!
All right. Well, anyways.
Now, one of the books, this is off topic, but one of the books I surprisingly did read in full, and it was fucking weird, was Revelation.
Oh shit. Well, yeah, that's one you have to. I think that's one of the fun ones to read.
It's a fun book, but good God, is it trippy.
Like Numbers is just dry as fuck. Like a lot of the Old Testament's incredibly dry.
Yeah, I couldn't get through Genesis because of like whole genealogy thing that extends like for an eternity.
Well, yeah, that's why Numbers sucks. Numbers is like 80% genealogy. Leviticus is like also 80% genealogy, and then the other 20% is like the 10 Commandments and like, killing gay people and stuff.
Yeah, except a lot of people forget that it wasn't just the 10 Commandments that are supposed to be followed. God laid down those 10 Commandments in addition, along with the 613 laws.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will keep playing Circumcision.
Yep, circumcision.
cursed basically for it.
Okay, and then what else happened?
Then the proconsul believed when he saw what had happened, being amazed at the teaching of the Lord.
Okay, wow.
Yeah,
He was amazed, and
Worked
did
out.
he become a believer?
looks like it.
Oh, wow, fantastic. Don't you think that was a great result?
Yeah, I do.
Amazing.
I do, Tangela.
I
It took
think
some,
so
took some
too,
harsh
yeah.
words and also some harsh rebuke and also actually a physical miracle. Yeah.
Okay, great, fantastic.
Wait, hold
Oh,
on,
Mike?
Foreskin. Wait, hold on, wait. Okay, wait.
I'm waiting.
I'm waiting. I'm ready.
A physical miracle? Wait, that makes no sense. Miracles aren't physical by definition. They're super.
Well, in fairness to him, right, there are examples of it. Like if you wanted to argue the example of water being turned into wine.
There's not examples. There's stories.
Yeah,
I'm being overly pedantic there. To me, example means that it's something that has happened, whereas miracles can't happen. They don't happen because they can't happen because magic isn't real. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and also there's that whole argument, like, if a miracle was confirmed, then it no longer would be, like, metaphysical or miraculous.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Well, it's more so my biggest argument against, like, the supernatural and in general, like, for any supernatural phenomenon is that once you explain something supernatural by means of the natural, you inherently kind of disvalue what the supernatural means. Right? Because if something supernatural can be explained in terms of something natural, then why are we calling it supernatural?
Well, but
cool.
Wouldn't a miracle be something that you could see the result of the miracle, but not know its cause, and therefore wouldn't it still be supernatural if that happened?
No. Supernatural, it would just be unexplained.
Well, yeah, but the fact that the miracle still happened would be the important part. If the statue actually cried blood, right, that would be...
That's just a phenomenon happening.
Okay.
But
here's the thing, right?
Happening in the natural world. You can't prove that it's a miracle.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? You're trying to make a claim based upon the absence of evidence, not based upon the preponderance of evidence.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that kind of the point, though? Right? I mean,
that's how miracles are claimed, but it's an
that's what I'm saying.
Claim. Yeah,
I'm not saying miracles happen. I'm just saying like
no.
There's different layers here.
No, the idea of a miracle is logically fallacious at its core because it's not actually substantiating itself like with...
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, with evidence that's kind of the point. Unique. Yeah.
What I love is that all these Christians literally believe in magic, in wizards, like wizards that can somehow bring themselves back from the dead after decaying for 3 days, but their parents never let them read Harry Potter, which is also magic. I mean, I don't...
Well, that's Satan.
The funniest part to me is the fact that they can invoke miracles, right? They can talk about like all this magic shit that happened, but they can't say like, oh yeah, the reason we don't see the flood in geology was just because, God miracled it away. Like they have the easiest, get out of jail free card in history, and they just for some reason insist that their position is scientific.
And that's what magic is. And that's why they hate it when you call it magic, because it demonstrates just how absurd and stupid it kind of is.
Yeah, but I've been having this conversation with Standing, right, about how Neanderthals just phylogenetically nest outside of modern humans. And he could literally just say, okay, they're descendants of Ham. The curse of Ham was to become Neanderthals. Boom. Problem solved. Like, God just miracled their phylogenetics away. Why don't you just say that? But no, he has to pretend like it's scientifically supported, and it's just not.
By the way, has anybody in here, and this is kind of off topic, but speaking of magic, it kind of brought it back into my head. Has anybody seen Aaron Ra's newest video that's like 25 minutes long of his discussion with that Australian guy?
No, I don't.
No, I haven't yet.
Watch that.
See the one that was at the Reason Rally or something? And
no.
He was
I don't know if he's ever been at a Reason Rally. I doubt it because he's from Australia, and I don't think he's ever probably been in the United States. I don't know the guy, but this is his argument. Same argument that he gave to me when I debated him. Same argument he gave the T-Jump when T-Jump debated him. How does it go? Shapes exist, therefore the universe is finite, therefore God. Like, that is literally his argument.
Oh my God.
None of those things connect to each other.
Yeah, but if you go back to the second sentence, and he'll say that, if you go back to my second sentence, it's like, dude, but it's really... I saw the video, and I saw how long it was, and then I was like, this is kind of short, and I clicked play. Then I saw who it was, and I was like, yeah, I'm not surprised this is like 25 minutes long.
Did y'all see where Aaron Ra was in a debate with like Nathan Thompson on MDD, and he just got pissed and like fucking left?
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, like, what's actually interesting about that, and this is one of the main reasons they don't like MDD, is that in the when he was going through the Quote Mine series, like going after Nephilim and just dismantling Nephilim's opening, he at some point did mention that like there was an upcoming debate that he's going to have with the Flat Earther, and that one of the things like that was required and named in the email to James was that this person has to be able to, show
a model, and they have to have a map. He said.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, Nathan Thompson, being Nathan Thompson, did neither of those things.
Well, the thing is, he didn't bring a model, and Aaron Ra, being at least trying to be charitable, was like, okay, well, he sent him some picture off of Instagram that was supposed to be his map. He's like, and apparently had told Aaron Ra that he was going to explain his model using this map, and Aaron Ra tried to walk him through that, and he just refused, and then denied that he ever sent him that picture, and that it wasn't a map, and that, that it was inaccurate. Like, literally all Nathan did was make a claim, and then walk back that claim, and then claim that he never made the claim, and then claim that he didn't understand the claim that he had just made 3 minutes ago. Like, literally. Like, he said the moon was physical, then he said that the moon isn't physical, then he said that he didn't know what the moon was.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, remember, you're dealing with an audience of people who are like more retarded than mentally retarded people.
Yeah.
And I wish I was joking in saying that.
I don't know.
What really irritated me is that after Aaron left, instead of just ending the debate, which is what I would have done, James used to platform one of the most intellectually dishonest people I have ever met in my fucking life.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So this is why, like, I don't necessarily agree with, like, just straight up ridiculing a lot of the young Earth creationists. I feel like a lot of people are too harsh, considering that, like, the creationist movement's a pretty large factor in America, and most of the people who are creationists aren't just conspiracy nuts. But flat earthers are fucking conspiracy nuts. Make fun of them all you want. Like, I feel like that's the best way to deal with flat earthers.
You know my policy when dealing with creationists, Walker?
Not specifically.
Whenever I go into a conversation with a creationist that I'm first encountering, right, and I did this with Maddox, I will be as charitable as humanly possible. I will try to understand what he is saying. I will try to understand the framework he's operating under, and I will try to steelman his position to the best of my ability, right? And I don't care what claims they make, right? And I'm more interested in the rationale and how they're making that conclusion from what knowledge they have, right? But the issue comes into being when they start trying to make claims that they believe are facts, and they double down when correction and critique is being offered to that, right? Because I can suspend what I believe about the world and what I know about reality to entertain a point. They still will make an incorrect point, like on every ground.
I wanted to tell you guys, this Philip guy, because that's the name of the guy that Aaron was having a discussion with, thinks that light can't exist in the atheistic worldview.
Is it because it's not physical or something?
Colors can't exist, because he says
that's even dumber.
He said color is just light, and when I was in my debate, I was like, yeah, color is just different variations of electromagnetic radiation. Like, I don't. And then he said something about colorless matter, and I was like, you know what? That's probably the most accurate thing you've ever said, because matter, anything that you look at that you think has a color, doesn't actually have a color. Matter does not have a color. What matter does have, or rather do, is the electron clouds of the atoms that make it up. When photons interact with that and are reflected back, it changes the energy level of those photons.
Yeah.
And then you pick that up. So nothing that you look at actually has a color itself. It just changes the frequency at which the electromagnetic radiation that is reflected off of it is being reflected off of it at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, so what is his argument? Is it his argument just that, like, nothing immaterial?
His argument is shapes exist, therefore the universe is finite, therefore God. Like, that is literally verbatim his argument.
Wait, but why does he say that colors can't exist?
I don't fucking know. I didn't get that far with my debate.
Fair enough.
I really wanted to, because, oh man, I've had a lot of people try to argue using light. They're like, well, light's a material. I'm like, wait, so what is a photon? And they're just like, huh? I'm just like, exactly. What is a photon? Well, but photons don't have yeah, but we can measure them. They have momentum. they interact with physical things, like they're physical. Physical doesn't mean mass. Physical essentially mean it in the bare scientific sense. Physical means can be defined by physical quantities. That's how I define it.
If I really wanted to be anal about this, I would say that photons technically aren't light, but they're quantized packets of light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I would just call that light.
Oh, there's someone in the back room.
Yeah.
Who is in the back room?
Hello, David. Welcome.
And
Hello, what's up?
I'll put you at the top with the other cam dude.
yeah, I would say for me, especially because I'm a chemist, I view like the natural state of light, if you want to call it that, as being a wave.
Mm-hmm.
I view it as both, but I also look at it in a particle physics sense. So
The thing is, even though I know not to do it, like when I view it as a particle, especially because like atoms have very specific shapes, or like orbitals, I can't help but think about the way an electron moves as being kind of synonymous to an orbit.
By the way, Leo, your camera's frozen again.
all right.
Yeah, even though it's not correct, I can't help myself but view it as being kind of like an orbit, even though it's not.
So David, is this debate with me and Stapler Boy happening again or not?
Hopefully, I emailed him a few times and he hasn't replied back.
Okay.
I actually just finished a debate right now with Apologetics Live with Anthony. I'd actually just got back from a debate.
Anthony Maurice?
Yeah, I was about to say Anthony Maurice.
No, Anthony Silvestro.
I don't know who that is.
It's probably a better conversation to have, if I had to guess.
But
Well, Anthony Maurice, I swear, I don't know if the guy has like some issues, but Anthony Maurice can only make 1 point.
yeah.
And that well, the RNA world has failed. Like it's already failed. We've already proved it. Like somebody could be talking about abiogenesis and not even mention the word RNA in a 15 fucking minute discussion, and he will immediately say, "Yeah, but we show that the RNA world doesn't work."
Dude, you don't even have to be
Actually,
talking about
we
a
have
bio. Like, just say anything about like evolution of life.
He makes a really stupid point, and it's stupid because he claims to like have gone through education. Oh, but the chemists control the experiments. What are the experiments?
That's such a bad argument. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly
the
what I
first-
keep saying. Anytime we make a cell in life, they'll just dismiss it as evidence for intelligent design.
Every time
but it's-
somebody makes that argument, I say, wait, so the Higgs boson can only be created by humans since humans engaged in the extreme manipulation of quantum fields in the Large Hadron Collider to produce and discover it? Or is it that it can be produced naturally and we can just manipulate nature to produce it at will? And then they're just silent.
Yeah.
Or I'll say something like, wait, hold on, wait. So
Yeah,
like
can you-
experiments in electromagnetism don't actually occur in nature because humans did the experiments? Is
Yeah,
that
and really, can you find me any example of any experiment that's not highly controlled?
Yeah, but they don't understand that we're highly controlling these experiments to produce specific results in specific environments by eliminating any potential variables that might taint the experiment. But these guys don't know what science is or how it works, which is why they make these idiotic and asinine arguments.
They don't understand that when you're trying to ascertain something about causality potentially, or the relationship between two or more variables, right? What you have to do is you have to study that more or less as an isolated system.
Mm-hmm.
You have to assume that those things aren't making any other interactions outside the ones that you're trying to study in detail. And if it turns out that the mathematical framework you're using, or whatever predictive framework you're using, is inaccurate, or there's significant errors, right? Then what you're doing is you're systematically going through other variables that you purposely ignored the first time that might be potentially contributing to the source of error in your original model. And you try to refine it based upon that. But the thing is, right, trying to do like controlled experiments for something like as simple as even 5 or 6 variables it's quite difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's a lot that can go wrong very easily, and because there's variation within data, and because there are random errors that are going to occur, the data turns out messy sometimes.
And if you're ever in a discussion with Tony or in a room with Tony, he says, "Yeah, but these scientists they have to purify all these chemicals and everything." Just ask him, "Okay, why do they do that?"
Yeah.
I asked him that one time, and he just rambled on about something completely unrelated to the question I just posed. The reason they do that is to, I don't know, remove all the shit that's going to contaminate the experiment if we don't remove it and give us faulty results.
Yeah. I mean, in any experiment, it's just a scientific method to try to control variables, right?
Yep.
So you're just testing one specific node. He very obviously doesn't have a rudimentary understanding of chemistry. I think I asked him what stochastic meant, and he didn't know. So, if you don't know what stochastic means and you're talking about chemistry, you probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to get a little more Smokey in? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Good night, Scott. I just saw.
Stochastic, at least in my education, it didn't pop out very much, except for like stochastic modeling. So the modeling of the modeling of, like, random systems essentially is what it is usually.
Yeah. Well, okay. So not even just like the idea of stochastic, right? So like the fact that all chemical reactions are probabilistic. You just have a bunch. Chemical reactions are essentially just favorable interactions from molecules bumping around in a soup. And so you're obviously going to have certain probabilities that one thing's going to bump into another thing in a good way that gives you the reaction you want. Oh, sorry, I accidentally removed him. So I was trying to add him. Simos Funk. I don't know. Welcome to the chat, Simos.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody.
Howdy.
And, hello, Immutable.
How's it going, Simos?
Yeah, not bad, thanks, mate. And you?
Oh, not too bad. Jesus, man.
We got us a Brit Bonger in here, huh?
God, I mean, the last time I remember seeing you, I mean, I saw you in Brojo's stream several weeks ago, but I think the last time I saw you before that was back when MK was trying to do like rapping or singing for a career.
MKs, yeah, and it would have been in MKs when we went Darth and.
Oh yeah, I remember. God, good old days.
Yeah, man. Anyway, there you go. Anyway, I just wanted to say something that you might recognise, which is that did you see any of the debates with this Philip guy, the guy that does the God is space or God is shapes and Jesus?
I personally debated him.
Cool. I was wondering if Immutable has seen any of that.
I'm not familiar with this guy. I'm not familiar with this cat at all. So
right, because I have a feeling he might be, and this is just supposition. I have no idea, but he sounds a little like a guy we used to play with called MMA.
Apparently, Philip is a flat earther.
Well, yeah, MMA was a bit extreme as well. And they sound extremely similar, that's all I'm saying. And
MMA.
I'm trying to get someone else who remembers MMA that might have heard this guy and say, oh, yeah, they could be the same guy.
Yeah, I forget. Jesus. I probably would recognize him if I heard his voice, but it's
been too long. Yeah. I mean, that was back in the days, of course. Anyway, I don't want to derail the conversation.
No, the only other question, and I'll ask this, like, if you know where he is, it's Mark Seidel?
Yeah, I've obviously I haven't seen him for quite about a year or so.
Yeah, I haven't seen him either. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, don't know. I'll ask Brojo next time I speak to him. Now.
All right, because I remember seeing him around a few years ago, but he just kind of seemed to drop off. But he's a nice guy.
Yeah. I think Mark's stopped going into Brojos at the same time that Lyrics did. So.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
There you go. Anyway, back to the conversation that everybody can participate in.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too sidetracked.
No, you're good. Pass too long.
Do you want to try and get some more Smokey in?
Let's go for it.
Yep.
All right. I will be calling Afskin. All right.
And hello, Philip. Hello, Leo, by the way, as well. I've seen a few of your things. Nice to meet you.
Who?
Leo.
Oh, hi. How's it going?
Yeah.
How are you now?
I'm all right. Thanks, mate. We'll catch up at some point.
Afskin again.
Smokey, what has all that militancy that you are engaged with, what has that provoked amongst believers and unbelievers?
Well, lots of things. The convicted
It has.
are convicted. The believers are reassured. Those that are attempting to discern righteous things are able to see true things. Lots is done, Atangelo. Which metric would you like me to judge by? Which metric would Atangelo choose that I'm supposed to judge by as to whether or not I'm effective?
Well, for example, you are calling Joel's wife a cow. What do you think was that provoking?
Well, she.
Yes.
No, that's just because he's a misogynist.
Same offense that she.
He sounded so proud of that as well. He was just like, "You were calling Joe's wife a cow, right?" And he was like, "Yes." Like, thank God. All right.
Like, yeah, I called her a cow. God. Ugh.
Imagine being proud of just insulting someone random on the internet's wife.
You know that meme of that guy who's like straining that to hold in whatever it is he's going to say, and people say when you've gone such and such without doing or saying such and such.
Yeah.
That's Smokey when he goes like 10 seconds without insulting somebody, preferably a female.
I like the way he says you have to be righteous in order to be able to recognize truth. Gotta love begging the question.
Yeah.
All right, Afskin.
Did when she called us monkeys and said that we should basically that we're all guilty or I guess diagnosed with narcissistic bipolar disorders or something of the like that she was doing. She could have just not, I don't know, maybe abided by 2 Timothy 2, with her husband actually speaking and having a
that's fucked up
conversation and just shut her filthy mouth. And then
what the fuck? All right, I'm looking up 2 Timothy right now. 2 Timothy 2 is what he said, right?
Yeah, I will say the Bible is quite blatantly misogynistic.
Yeah, certain parts of it. For sure.
It's the majority of it very much so promotes a very male-oriented culture.
Yeah. Well, when you look at the culture the Bible was written in, it becomes evident why slavery is endorsed in the Bible. Magic is in the Bible.
Leo,
they had no understanding of science. Misogyny was endorsed. I mean, this is how we know that the Bible was not written by or even remotely divinely inspired by anything with any level of fucking intelligence that even a human today would have, because that would have been reflected in what they wrote, and it's not.
Well, you know something else too, and you could piss Smokey off really good with this one. But you should go into just how scarce the evidence is for the historical Jews.
The historical Jews?
Yeah.
That sounded first. It sounded like you said juice. I was going to say, no, what is this juice you speak of?
Well, if I said that, I'd have to.
Smokey. I know what Smokey's real last name is. I would not honestly be surprised if he did have some Semitic heritage, some Semitic ethnic background. I really wouldn't.
I think I know what his last name is.
All I'm gonna say is, if you know who the father of communism is, you know what his last name is. See, I didn't dox him there.
Oh, Night Ogre. Yeah, I do not support doxing on this channel.
I don't support doxing at all. That's why I didn't dox. I just said, hey, do you know who the father of communism is? Just ask the question, That's how you get out of stuff. You just,
So Timothy 2 is presumably the one where it says pull your brother Christian aside before publicly criticizing or something.
No,
right?
He was using it to say like women should shut up, which I thought the one for that was in Romans, and not Timothy. I don't know.
Okay.
I scooted it back 10 seconds to hear what he has to say. All right, I'll play it again just so we can get a better listen.
I feel like Smokey's the kind of guy who didn't get along with people in high school because he was such a douchebag to everybody. He never got laid, so he hates women. He got picked on, so he hates everybody who doesn't think like he does. But he never got his ass kicked, and that's why he is the way that he is.
I feel very much so to say that Smokey seems like a very sheltered child.
Yeah,
probably was a very sheltered child growing up, and that nobody just fucking beat his ass when he stepped out of line.
And he said he used to be an atheist. I honestly, I can believe that, and I think that he came to religion, specifically Christianity, as a way of coping It was his copium, so to speak, for why the world is wrong and this, that, and the other, and yada yada yada.
So
But,
he
yeah.
said as much that essentially he converted into Christianity as kind of the result of what I'll call a quarter life crisis. And basically he started reevaluating whether or not his criteria for like God revealing himself and, you know, actually logical criteria were actually logical or not.
I do love it when Christians say they used to be atheists.
Yeah, I feel like that's rarely true, like ever.
Well, I wouldn't want to use the no true Scotsman fallacy, but I would say that the version of atheism they have must be the Lacteus version rather than the strong version. I would have thought.
So I'm not doing like a no true Scotsman thing. There's definitely atheists who have converted to like Christianity and stuff. I just feel like the majority of especially like online Christians and shit, they're always like, oh yeah, I used to be atheist. I used to do all this kind of stuff. And when you ask them about it, they were just like apathetic Christians growing up, and then they had like a revival when they were 20. I feel like that's way more common.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, guys, I am exhausted. I'm heading out. Good night.
All right, yeah, I hope you had a good debate. Talk to you later, man.
Shoot me an email. Okay, never mind.
It's gone already. If you listen to this back, please post the link to that debate. I'd love to check it out, David.
He has a channel. Amita, would you want to pull up his channel while I play the Smokey video?
I guess so, Walker. He abused me so hard, I have to.
We were both given dual mod powers, so.
All right.
I did want to say, I think that a lot of. Oh, give me a second. Nope, I'm not going to yawn. Okay, cool. I think that a lot of Christians, like what I think it was you, Walker, that said that they weren't ever really atheists. They were Christians that weren't, or they were raised in a religious household, perhaps Christianity, Judaism, whatever it may be. But they didn't ever go to church. They didn't ever read from the Bible. They might have like believed that there was something there, but it was something that wasn't even really a part of who they were or a part of their life. And then they run with that, claiming that, well, they were an atheist. And I think they do that to try to make it out as though, yeah, well, you see, I understand where you're coming from. I used to be one of you, and I get it, when really they don't. It's sort of a way of, what's the word? Somebody help me out with the word, where not sympathizing, but God damn it.
I think it's almost, I agree, but I think it's more of a reaffirmation thing for their Christian audiences, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I used to be an atheist, and then I saw the light, So this, nudge, you're correct.
Yeah.
Also, there might be other psychological issues. I found it tends to be bundled up with this idea of objective morality, that they somehow feel that life is meaningless unless it has some objective morality, and they can't understand how to achieve some idea of objective morality without going through the prejudged or pre-given answer, right, of God, right? Which I can grant that seems like a very attractive proposition, right? That everything is on a plate here for you. You just sit down in front of the plate, and you will have all of the answers you want for life, and you'll never have to worry about trying to create meaning for yourself.
Yeah,
that seems very tempting, especially if you're a teenager and or in your late teens, and you've tried to get on in this what can be a cutthroat environment, right, with other teenagers, and trying to be accepted as a person and socially move up, right, and all of these things. If you're not accepted in those groups, it can be very tough. So I can see why people would turn to Christianity or turn to any religion that they happen to be brought up in, and say, okay, well, I'm going to go down this route because there's a pre-established community here. Let's face it, that's one thing religion does very well.
That ties into a point that Aaron Ross made before, that you'll often see a lot of former like big time alcoholics or drug users turn to Jesus to fix it. They're not actually getting rid of their addiction. They're just switching their addiction to something else. They need something that gives them the sense of fulfillment the way that drugs or alcohol do, and they turn to religion to get that. And that's what religion does. That's why a lot of programs, sobriety programs, are based in religion because they know that that's going to give these people the thing that they can use to replace the drugs, but doesn't replace the feelings they get from it. I also wanted to say that Smokey is a very interesting character, psychologically speaking. I mean, this is obviously somebody who, as Immutable said, was probably sheltered throughout their life. They probably didn't have very many friends. I feel like he's been kind of a vitriolic douchebag his entire life, and this resulted in having few friends, never having interactions with females, which then led to an increased sense of misogyny, because always it's nothing wrong with me, it's just these women are fucking stupid and dumb, and they're just sluts and whores, you know, they couldn't handle someone like me. He's an incel. He's just another one of these neoconservative religious nutwing incels, and it's sad. I mean, it's just fucking sad.
Go for it.
No,
down.
No, I mean that's about right. I mean, because what's so interesting too is that Smokey feels like internally that like there must be like some sense of like justice, right?
Yeah, for sure.
This notion of justice, I mean, it's ultimately it's an illusion in the sense that there is no way fully like to ensure justice to be done to a system. We try in certain scenarios, but it is always plagued by inequality. It's always plagued by complicating factors, and it's always plagued by political motivations and all sorts of other crap.
Yeah.
And like I said, I still think that Smokey came into Christianity strongly as a way of coping. I'm wondering if it wasn't a way of feeling some sense of justice toward those who probably picked on him when he was younger. Like he needed a way of thinking that one day they're gonna get theirs, and adhering to Christianity gave him that sense that like one day they will get theirs when they stand before God. And that's part of his come to Christianity was definitely it was copium. I don't know if you guys know what that means. It was a coping mechanism for something or several things that happened to him. And I think it was probably a mix of him being sheltered and being picked on because due to being sheltered, he didn't know how to communicate with people. And due to not being able to communicate with people, he often approached people in an overly hostile, confrontational, and eventually vitriolic manner. And we can see that expressed in the 30-something-year-old adult that he is today, where he acts very much. I don't know if anybody else picks up, and I understand I'm being long-winded. This is the last point I'm going to make. I don't know if anybody else has picked it up in him, but to me, Smokey Saint talks and acts like a fucking 17-year-old. Like one of those, somebody who's in their late teens.
Oh yeah.
He's the Christian equivalent of like the Richard Dawkins guy.
Yeah.
You know what it also might be too, right? Because Smokey is essentially stated like that he's done he's done business work for a healthy portion of his career. But he's also mentioned like that he's done that multiple times in a way, like that he's, essentially moved around, had rough times, hard times, good times, bad times. But so I wonder if part of that vitriol is the result of, him just going through, a series of rough life events. Maybe the business wasn't working too well, or maybe, just not getting those numbers where they need to be. And
gotta pump those numbers up, man.
Yeah, but I mean, just never learning as a child, or maybe not understanding, at a young age how to properly properly ventilate and get rid of those, that negativity.
Yeah, Smokey certainly, he talks, he speaks. I'm not a psychologist, but being able to read people has never been hard for me. And there have been times where I've been inaccurate, but I wouldn't ever say I've been dead wrong. And Smokey is definitely the kind of person in the way that he talks to others, and the way that he's targeting and isolating not just those that are ideologically opposed to him, but those in his own camp, just because they disagree with him on the smallest little worthless fucking things. To me, demonstrates that something or some things have happened to this man in his life that have made him this way. He's one of those people that got bitter and cold because of the thing. Like, he never healed from these. I have to be honest, I feel sorry for Smokey. I do, because he's got that kind of like the 80-year-old man who loses his kids and then loses his wife and becomes a bitter old cranky fuck that just is never nice to anybody. I get that from Smokey. And for him to be, what is he, like 37, 36, 37, 38, and he's in his late 30s, to already have that mentality, I think it comes from probably never having a serious relationship with a woman, not having many friends. It wouldn't surprise me if he has social issues and has his entire life had trouble communicating with people and things like that. And that's driven people away from him and turned them into this vitriolic, hate-filled douchebag.
Well, and I think the evidence you can give for that one is that he claims to be essentially claims to be non-denominational, right? Yeah. He doesn't adhere to any mainstream branch of Christianity. He has a very, he has a very kind of mix and matched form of his own theology.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, non-denominational is its own denomination almost for some people. I mean,
yeah, but it's like several million different denominations in that case, because usually what you find is it's a cobbler pie of different doctrinal faiths.
Yeah. Well, but Leo, I wanted to let you know, I was in a stream with Smokey. I did a stream. I was joined a stream with Joel to talk to him. Then I did a stream with Smokey to talk to him because trying to figure out what's going on from my outsider perspective. And don't get mad at me, Leo, but I ended up comparing you to Smokey in the way you guys argue, your argue techniques.
Leo's never been so offended in his life.
I'm not offended. I just
and Smokey got very upset
in any way, shape, or form relate to Smokey, because I actually make valid points. The person that you could best compare me to, and Leo, I have been compared to by numerous people, is Aaron Ra.
Leo, the comparison I made was how you both will talk a whole lot instead of making a succinct point. And you give 15 examples when you should do one, and Smokey will give 15 insults when you should do one.
Smokey
I think Leo makes succinct points. I think he just tries to hammer them home whenever he's discussing them.
Yes.
You know? Like he wants to make
sure that will be given 2 points that I make so that I can leave my opponent with nothing to respond with.
A way of kind of like structurally criticizing Ogre or Gay's points.
Or Gay.
I don't know. Fucking shit. Whatever. I'll call him Ogre. But what Smokey will do, right, when he's trying to make a point that he views logical, is if it doesn't seem to connect with the audience immediately, he'll reform it in some different way that's just as autistic. And he'll keep using that, and you'll keep doing that until eventually he just runs out of patience with it, or just thinks that eventually keep giving stupid examples will eventually make the audience understand it.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. It's kind of what I told him. Is I said something like you're 80% yell, 20% talk or something, and yeah, I just wanted to warn Leo so he doesn't jump on me for comparing him to Smokey. So
no. I mean,
that doesn't offend me because I am in no way, shape, or form even remotely similar to any aspects of Smokey Saint.
Well, I disagree.
That's fine. I mean, you're wrong, but sure, you can disagree.
Hey, there you go.
I'm not vitriolic. I don't refuse to make points and just hurl insults. I don't attack people on the other side. I don't attack people within my own camp. I actually have an intelligence. I actually know things. Like, literally, there is nothing that I could be compared to Smokey on. Nothing.
Leo is also open to new information, and if he is incorrect on something for God knows whatever reason, he is open to correction on it, usually.
I've never seen any reasons.
Good.
Yeah, last time I actually corrected myself was, I believe it was last night in Nox stream. Messenger said something, and I thought he had said something about Donald Trump donating his paycheck, because I heard the word Trump and then something paycheck, and I hammered on Messenger like, no, this is what you said. And he's like, well, you can play back then I actually went to YouTube and played it back, and I corrected myself and said, no, Messenger, I need to correct myself. You were right. What he had said, and I said, what you had said is that Trump has made your paycheck bigger. You didn't say anything about Trump's paycheck, so I needed to correct myself.
Yeah, cool, good.
All right. Do y'all want to get back to the Smokey thing? Like I said, I rewinded it just to hear his vitriol coming forward again.
Or disorders or something of the like that she was doing. She could have just not, I don't know, maybe abided by 2 Timothy 2, you know, with her husband actually speaking and having a conversation, and just shut her filthy mouth. And then none of that would have ever actually happened. And I wouldn't have taken the offense to the level it did, because I didn't start there, Atangelo. I know you like to kind of pitch it that I'm just this way to everyone, that I don't even give anyone a chance.
You are.
I mean, okay, so my thing is, maybe he doesn't start at 100, but his barrier to get to 100 is very low.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's another thing too, right? Is that if this is a consistent framework for Smokey, right? If he doesn't actually value the opinions of women, right? Why would you be so pissed at what the woman has to say? And not just that, but actually publicly on stream make such a point and make such a pissant fool of yourself to go off and snap at a woman that hard.
Yeah.
If you truly view her as being so inferior to yourself, right? Why just not let trash be trash, according to Smokey's model, right? And just let that situation die. Don't even entertain it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you're responding to it, right, means psychologically and internally that you think that criticism has some level of validity to it.
Yeah, don't forget if he is referring to the women thing, it's that women shouldn't preach. Right?
Yeah.
It's not that women shouldn't have opinions or say what they think, etc., etc. It's that they shouldn't correct him on scriptural matters.
And nobody should.
And obviously nobody should, because it's the Great Smokey.
The very first.
But nonetheless, I think that's where this, to call it outright misogyny, I think is a little incorrect.
I would say Smokey's misogynistic.
No, Smokey is explicitly misogynistic. Explicitly. If you guys had seen the screenshots that Math Pig has given me about what he said about Mama Atheist, you would agree. And I've got numerous other examples of him just going off. He goes off on females in ways that he does not go off on males.
I mean, I'm not trying to put your point down here. I'm trying to say a little bit of forbearance here, because I've heard, a lot of these online apologists, have a different view in their personal life to what they have online. And I get that from Smokey. I think I get from Smokey that his portrayal of a character online is not really himself either.
Yeah.
That's what I perceive as his issue, is that he doesn't know who he really is, because he can't sit down and have an honest conversation with himself, let alone anybody else.
Simos, I don't want to project too much on Smokey, but consider the fact that Smokey has spent a lot of time and effort into making this channel tolerable, let's say. But that also Smokey has said definitively, that this is something he seeks to do full time, essentially. Yeah. Right? This doesn't indicate to me that this is that this is just a hobby, or that this is a secondary lifestyle that Smokey is pursuing and finding enrichment and fulfillment in. This seems to be.
I hear what you're saying, but of course we've been through that with other people, like G-Man in the early days. He was very egotistical about the number of views that he commanded, the number of Christians that he could get in. His great arguments for. For slavery or whatever. The number of his prayer argument and shit. You know what I mean? Same thing with true empiricism, of course.
I mean, he's essentially the white G-Man, right? I mean, he is very he is so self-absorbed in his own ego, and his view of God, I mean, ironically, reflects more about his, his own personality than anything else.
Of course. That's not to say this stuff that he's quoting is not written in that book, right?
No, it isn't.
We can all recognize that book is a bad influence, and when you get somebody with a bad personality, then the two are obviously going to.
Right? Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
He uses the Bible more as justification for his bad behavior. Like the reason his favorite insult is trash is because apparently Jesus called the Pharisees trash, and that's why he calls everyone a trash clown. I discovered this in a debate or something. Like I remember hearing him say that.
I did want to say really quickly that while I do think that Smokey puts on a kind of a caricature online, that it's not something vastly different in the sense that most people would probably assume in real life. The difference between him online and in real life is that online he's just he's a keyboard warrior. Coming online is where he gets to come and be, at least what he thinks is, this dominant, intelligent person, whereas in real life, I have a feeling he is much more cowardly in the literal sense of the word cowardly, as in someone who cows a lot or who can be easily swayed or intimidated. I get that from him 100%.
Well, yeah,
I very much so doubt the fact, or doubt that Smokey has the balls enough to say to any woman, whether or not she's single or not, that woman is a dog.
She's a moronic whore with a cow mouth or something like that.
Especially not somebody like Jen Aldrich, because let's be honest, in an actual literal fist fight in person, Jen would rock Smoke. Oh my god, that woman was raised in fucking Brooklyn or dude. Yeah, I would not fuck with Jen in real life, but I've got family from New York. I know how them chicks are, and she didn't grow up in your typical white place. And they're like, oh my god, she would fuck him up every Sunday.
I don't like complimenting this individual, but Milo Stewart would fuck his shit up.
I don't even know who Milo Stewart is.
Let's be honest.
Milo Stewart
Women aren't on Smokey's menu. I don't think so.
Milo Stewart was very controversial on YouTube a few years ago, and ultimately became infamous for making a video called "All White People Are Racist." Very third wave neo-feminist radical.
Was that when all the atheists online just sort of took a break from religion and just started shitting on feminists or something?
Really quick, is he more of a TERF? Trans exclusionary radical feminist?
No, this person was definitely not trans exclusionary.
Just another asshole.
No, this person was not trans exclusionary. They were trans themselves, I believe. So.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Not trans exclusionary.
I was gonna say, Smokey couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper sack. We've all seen his arms. He bitches at me for having small arms, and I do. But I've also got what he doesn't, and that's fucking actual definition, because I've done physical manual labor before.
Hey, and the thing is too, you're probably better at cooking than Smokey.
I know that I am better at cooking than Smokey. I want
Leo, can you flex for us again? I got you on the big screen.
I want to have a cook-off. I want to have a cook-off with Smokey making steaks, because I want to see how bad he does.
I've seen him make biscuits, and that's enough for me. And I should try that recipe sometime.
Is that if that ever happens, Smokey has to buy the steak himself, because when he completely ruins that piece of meat, we're all going to cry, and I want it to be a waste of his money, specifically his money.
I want the tears of Smokey to be the seasoning for that steak. That is my one wish.
Do y'all want to get back to the Smokey, the Smokester?
Yeah, we probably should.
Yes.
Yeah, if we want to finish this.
Pissed.
You have a big
no seconds flat, but you just are one of those people who is really desperate, seemingly, to ignore the lead up. The time that I really give people the benefit of the doubt, that I even ask and say, can you please be quiet while we continue this conversation? The patience I have asking Joel 5 times over to answer the same question, for him just to dodge it over and over again, only for me to finally pull out after a month or so of trying, I think at least 6 weeks, what his theological framework is. And it's as disastrous as I would expect for someone who's willing to
Not what he said just now, but a few minutes earlier, that would be a really good clip out.
Yeah, this is your standard. This is your standard typical Christians arguing with themselves. Right?
The whole
he's not a real Christian because look, you put it out and it's rubbish. This is what Matt Slick says about Catholics. This is what they all do this. They all do this.
Oh, I would love to.
Such a dodge. It is
the whole
such a dodge. And it's
the whole I
so
pulled
it's
out after the whole I pulled out after 6 times thing could be very interesting to be just clipped.
Smokey out of context.
It's like Nakasuchi.
Timestamp. What's the timestamp?
It's like Nakasuchi's clip out.
It was like a few seconds ago.
I don't bang boys in the butt.
31-39, boys.
It was like 15 seconds ago, maybe less.
Somewhere around there. If anyone wants to clip it, I definitely do not endorse clipping it.
No,
I would never recommend anybody to clip that.
Definitely do not quote Smokey on saying it took him 6 times to pull out. That definitely leaves a positive ego on Smokey and all his benefactors.
Yeah, because he's never probably had the option to pull out. So
yeah. Just to get back to it, I would say what I love about when Christians do this and they deny these sways of Christianity is, of course, they're making Christianity a real minority religion, right? Because most Christians are Catholics in the world. If you want Christianity to be the biggest religion, right, then you've got to include the Catholics, right? You've got to include most Protestants, right? So, I mean, you're basically making it Smokey by saying some shit like this, like his theology is completely wrong and he's not really a Christian. Just by saying and implying that, he's actually making his version of Christianity such a small minority of people that believe it that it almost becomes meaningless as far as I could see. There's as many people who would believe in his version of Christianity as probably believe in Zeus.
Yeah, that's the first question I always ask Christians when they say, well, Catholics aren't real Christians. I say, oh, so you agree then that Christianity is not the largest religion on the planet? And I usually get a weird look and I'm like, there are 2.2 billion Christians. 1.1 of them, literally like almost half down the line, are Catholics.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, the Vatican is, say what you will about the Vatican, but it has contributed quite largely to scientific progress occasionally.
In a way.
Yeah, but like especially like the Vatican priesthood, for instance, like the way they argue and like the way other Catholics argue, for instance, that one of the arguments they'll make, for instance, and it's actually decent. I mean, it's that it's instead of us trying to view evidence for God and trying to make sense of this seemingly irrational world. Like what they do is they flip it into saying that God is one of the reasons, like that we can find rationality and structure within,
which requires making a presupposition that can't be supported. But the thing is, let's be honest here, we all have some level of presuppositions that are unjustified, but there is a difference between a presupposition that is unjustified and that is completely and utterly ridiculous, and a presupposition that is unjustified that is taken to be axiomatic and isn't really entirely ridiculous, with like in a lot of our moral frameworks and what have you.
Yeah, I don't think they're saying, I don't think they're trying to make a presuppositional argument and that God is a requirement for rationality. I think they're just saying that God is one of the reasons why the universe is, the universe and its structure consistently is rational.
That is an argument I tend to hear from precepts, though.
Yeah, I don't think they're arguing to the contrary, though. I don't think they're making an argument that God exists, that the universe being rational makes God a necessary being.
Unless you're talking about Dawkins.
It could be they make that argument. It's just that
Darth Dawkins does. Matt Slick does. Cy Tenbruggencate does.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Darth Dawkins' version of precept isn't even that strong.
No, his is, God, I can never remember the name of it.
And it certainly isn't Catholic.
Van Tillian.
None of those are Catholic.
And the funny thing is, aside from tradcaths, traditional Catholics, because those are, quite frankly, pretty much just evangelicals under the Catholic name, I have had much more constructive conversations with Catholics than I have with most other forms of Protestants, and especially evangelicals.
Well,
Much
hell,
better
I mean,
conversation.
Catholic Church. I mean, as much shit as it gets. I mean, the Catholic Church has been very accepting of scientific progress, especially like with astronomy and biology.
We were talking about this.
Eventually, takes them a while to catch up, but they do it eventually.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about this the other day. Good.
The thing is, though, they do acknowledge like the scientific consensus and the scientific knowledge of
biology,
our world as being, something that.
Yeah, but you got to remember, it took them like over 150 years to accept that Darwin is correct.
Yeah. But they still did. The evangelicals still don't. So I think that I do get Immutable's point.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about this on Dapper's channel the other day, and it was like, wasn't it a Catholic priest that found the cosmic background radiation and stuff?
I
And
believe it was the Catholic priest.
Yeah, and
that's not correct. No.
It's not.
No. There's a guy called George Lemaitre who was a priest who basically theorized the Big Bang. He's the first person to theorize the expanding universe.
But like the Vatican has been pretty active in astronomy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the Pope's scopes are all over the place.
True. Yeah. And again, they've pushed particular types of modern society forward over the years, right? Forms of capitalism, right, have been quite pushed forward by the Catholic Church, and scholastic work. Obviously, they've denied people their common language, which is one thing which has kind of held people back. They've denied some mathematics, and but you can go down a whole list of things which they've taken so long, human rights especially, which they've taken a long time to catch up on. And it seems to me that they do it in regression. They don't do it looking forward to the future. They do it because they're forced to do it through either the Enlightenment or through modern people's attitudes.
But I mean, you compare that to something like Protestant or Baptist Christianity, where they just don't adapt to it, right? They refuse to adapt to.
That's not strictly true. I mean, the Gutenberg Bible is one of the first mass-produced books, right? That's a huge leap forward for society and for societies.
The thing is that, like, maybe it's different in other areas, but like at least in America, right? Like the Baptist and Protestant churches here have been very non-accepting of things like trans rights and LGBTQ, LGBTQ rights in terms of.
No, I'd agree with that. Human rights is definitely something that they've dragged their feet on. I mean, it was into. Well, I don't know. I mean, when I think about it in this country, abortions were only legalized maybe in the 60s, I think. I seem to remember.
Yeah, and I mean, I think some of them still probably have issues with the whole, marrying a different race. If you wanted to marry, an Asian woman or a black woman or, another person of another race.
Very good example, yeah. Certainly women's rights is high amongst the no-nos that the Christians seem to have been slow on adopting. But of course, we've got Christians to thank for a lot of science. So,
but the thing is, it's like, okay, the same would be true if Islam was responsible for the majority of scientific advancement.
It is.
I mean, algebra, alchemy are the beginnings of chemistry.
A
lot of medicinal techniques and a lot of anatomy that we still use today. I mean, there's why it was called the Golden Age of Islam. And if you want to talk about the amount of discoveries that were made during that period, are probably larger, at least on par with the Enlightenment period.
Yeah, it's a shame that.
Well, I would slightly dispute that in that, of course, most of those advances that were made were based upon the translations from Greek works. So I'd still go back to the Greeks.
The Greeks didn't formalize it the way that the Muslims did. But I would also say that these discoveries were not made because these people were Muslim. Like if we said, well, this Chinese guy discovered something, we wouldn't assume that he discovered it because he was Chinese. So for me, we can talk about the Golden Age of Islam, but it wasn't that it was Islam that did these things. It was just people that happened to be Muslim. So just like George Lemaitre did not discover this stuff because he was Catholic. He just happened to be Catholic.
Yeah, well, no, I was just using that as an example of like the Catholic Church being chill with science.
For the most.
I'm quite sympathetic to this idea that, certainly before Darwin, at least anyway, that people had this idea that because the universe seemed to be created by God, that there would be this rational and predictable uniformity of nature, we come to know it as, system by which we could understand the universe because God had made it. And I think that is quite a powerful kind of philosophy to base some science on. So yeah, I'm sympathetic to that. I don't agree that it's necessarily true. I think it's a falsity, but it's a useful falsity which was used to drag Europe out of the Dark Ages.
Mm-hmm. You want to get back to Smokey?
Simos, need I remind you that before Darwin, I mean, right, the notion of people understanding the world, it did exist, right? There were people that were challenging the modern perception of the world, but the very large consensus, particularly like the 18th and 17th century, for instance, take Charles Lyell, for instance. People believed that the Earth essentially was in a constant, more or less state of stasis, right? Mm-hmm. That the way things were and the ecological distribution of animals that were present at that time had essentially always been there, right? Things were created as they as things were as things stayed. They weren't aware of the massive levels of ecological or climate and all sorts of things.
I don't want to sort of break in, but I do think that that's somewhat of a myth. And again, there was Aristotle famously did work in the lagoon and showed that things did change. There were people.
Well, sure. I mean,
the Ionian scientists proposed that all life forms were in some way related to each other in 600 BC. They also proposed that all material things were made of fundamentally the same bits. I guess that wouldn't have been the word that they used before Democritus ever dreamed that up. The Ionian scientists, although they didn't really formalize a lot of this stuff, did have these ideas that weren't confirmed until well over 1,000 years later.
Well, yeah, but keep in mind also, right? Like, I don't disagree with that point, Simos. But the thing is, like, Johannes Kepler and even people before him had very clearly shown that the previous models, like that were proposed by biblical astronomy, were not correct. But they still viewed but still, even after geocentrism was shown to be incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It took the churches quite a long time to update that view in terms of, adopting what we now call the heliocentric model.
Yeah, for sure.
And even that is incorrect because we now know that the center of the Milky Way galaxy is, in fact, what?
Well, even that.
Yeah.
Well, but so again, relativistically, no.
I think again, for me, the idea that I pointed to say, look, God made the universe and therefore we can rely on it to be intelligible, right? I don't think that's a weak argument, right? I think it's I don't think it's a good argument. I don't think it's a good argument which is persuasive. But if we didn't have modern science, if we put ourselves back a few hundred years, it's not a bad argument, and it's not a bad argument to go out there and say, right, well, if that is the case, then we can do experiments on the world. We can develop the scientific method in order to come about to this modern age. Now, fair enough, we put that behind us now because we have the scientific method. But before that was invented, right? Before that was, invented, we didn't have that. People were just in the dark when it comes to it. And I would, state people like Newton, who geniuses as they were, didn't have that full idea in order to be able to. And hence did work on alchemy, etc. Right, which was clearly nonsense. Okay, he was clearly he tore the Bible apart, right, to find out what the truth of the Bible was, and was completely wrong in the way he approached that. Okay, so I mean, there's this duality. I'm saying that even the people that we hail as being the geniuses of that age still couldn't get to a patch on what modern individuals, even that go through just a university level education, are at today.
Of course not. They didn't have access to the experimental apparatus that we have today.
Well, and also if they were the ones founding the field, they wouldn't have. They are the giants that the rest of the field's built on.
Yeah, and also that, and keep in mind that especially especially Victorian and like very like Dark Age European culture, that the majority of people who were able to perform that research and able to understand and be disciplined within those science were oftentimes people of nobility.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or people that were oftentimes associated or tied to the noble class in some way.
Yeah, and I've always said, how many people prior to Sir Isaac Newton might have developed the same things that he did, and we just never knew about it because they were peasants.
Yeah, there were there's
a lot. There is a lot. You can go right back to Hypatia and see mathematics that almost led to the development of integration calculus.
So, do you want to get back to Smokey, or?
Sorry, yeah, you're good.
No, you're good. I just, if we're trying to finish up this video tonight,
and we're going on about the history of science, which is it's
an interesting topic for sure.
Yes, certainly.
Sorry, I don't mean to be the ass.
No, you're fine.
Lie so easily in order to make points. It's really, really startling and disturbing. I don't know why you were so keen to want to back up these people. I don't know what you think of them. I guess maybe if anyone just claims to be a Christian, they're a Christian to you. But as for the rest of us, we're told to judge by fruits, to look what people are presenting. You seem to do it for me. I don't know why you can't seem to do it for anyone else. But Joel and his horrible wife and that other thing, Jesse, they're all just been a horrible.
That other thing, Jesus Christ! All right, whatever.
Disgusting, god awful disgrace to the community since they got here. I mean, between Jesse showing up on stream to deny the proto-evangelion in the early parts of Genesis, which is the framework or the preeminent prior prophecy, first prophecy of the sending of Christ. She wants to deny that, fight that while she's drunk on stream, then gets kicked out, then turns around and calls everyone misogynists and sexist for doing so, has shown absolutely...
Right
okay. Back. Oh, go ahead. God, so the whole...
I can't be the only one wondering what's the whole proto-evangelion thing about.
I have no idea what that means. But the first time that like Smokey and her like went at it and shit, like the reason she was calling him a misogynist is because he kept repeating like, well, she shouldn't have gotten in the way of two brothers, and like,
yeah,
because he was saying misogynistic shit.
Yeah, he kept saying things like, "This dirty whore bitch like should stop interrupting like our."
Yeah, she said like this is what Paul meant when he said women shouldn't speak up in church or something like that. Like, come on, dude. Yeah, you're being a fucking misogynist.
Yeah, it's insane.
Right. Asking.
No semblance of remorse for any of the disgusting conduct she's done, but what do? You come running to her side because she's mad and hates Smokey. Like, dude, like, where are your priorities? Like, at this level, I'm sorry, Atangel, I'll let you talk, but this level of just a complete lack of awareness. I mean, where your ethics are directed, I will not figure it out. I'm sorry.
But I'm not figuring out how you apply eye by eye and call people cows and all kind of name calling. And I don't understand how this is backed up.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you something. I'll tell you what. I'll answer for that. And in the same way, because I'll tell you something. I wasn't even going to say this. But Nicholas actually wrote me a little private message and said, "We are about speaking truth and always speaking truth. But was cow really such a thing, speaking truth?" And I responded and I said, I'll probably give that to you. That might not have been a moment of truth, but I'll tell you this. I didn't have too many vocabulary word options to address the irreverent, over talking, disrespectful, insulting woman that was standing behind this man, preventing the conversation from continuing. What I guess maybe would have been more truthful or more appropriate to the statement would have been to call her a bitch. But that didn't.
Jesus Christ.
If you got nothing good to say, shut your damn mouth.
Oh my God. Yeah. Calling her a bitch is definitely the more appropriate thing to say instead of just, I'm sorry, can I speak to your husband?
God.
Jesus Christ.
You little fucking bitch.
Yeah. I think Smokey deserves to be called a bitch. I have no qualms with that. All right, Afskin, whatever. That just had to be acknowledged.
Yep.
Quite the level that I wanted to go at the time. So I chose something that might have been ever so slightly less potent, but, at the same time, maybe less truthful as well. And I landed on, hey, can you shut that cow up, please? We're trying to have a conversation. And the intention, of course, throughout that remaining point, because the conversation clearly wasn't going to continue, with that being the dynamic and her constantly butting in to levy psychological diagnoses on all of us. At that point, it was about just shame attempts, because it wasn't going to be convincing them. It was for the sake of the audience being directed to and understanding and enlightened of the disgusting, reprehensible, faux Christian behavior that they were attempting to leverage on the rest of us. And it was worth pointing it out, and I was not ashamed of using colorful vocabulary in order to do so.
That's one way to describe it.
I was not going to sit there and just, without any type of addressing or sense of imposing shame, allow that loudmouth woman to just continue to talk over what was attempting to be a conversation to sift out Joel's theological framework, which he had gone out of his way to hide for going on near 6 weeks. And you all were happy to validate. You all were happy to have him on as a oneness heretic, degenerate, lying sack of subhuman crap who was kicked off of Wikipedia for doing dishonest, lying things. And you guys treat him like, oh, welcome, brother. You believe in young earth and you support theistic creation? Come on in. You're a liar and a disgrace and have been kicked out of communities for being that, but you claim to be a Christian and you promote young earth. Come on in. See why I'm having a problem with this, Atangelo, and yet you're condemning me? The hypocrisy.
There's better ways he could have done that. But I do agree that Joel's a liar.
He's all of that for one point.
Bitch. I agree.
All of that just to say Joel was a liar? All of that?
Yeah, you see, to call Joel a liar, you have to call his wife a cow.
I know.
The only possibility, only option.
I can't say this correctly, but Joel is the perfect example of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Him and standing for truth.
Oh, yeah. And logical, plausible, probable. And arguably...
Just the whole community. Just all of them.
Oh, damn. Freaking bunch.
All right. Afskin.
Hypocrisy is rancid. Just rancid. You're validating heretics so you can come condemn me. You're completely mentally backwards, dude. I'm sorry. So finish whatever you got to say. I don't want this to go on forever, and I'd like to do another stream later. I got something else I'd rather do tonight. But go take as much time as you want. Respond to everything you want. Ask any questions you want. I'll let you go.
Well, I mean, I've listened to all your rants, Smokey, and I cannot still figure out how you can justify all your foul and dirty language which you use all the time in all the streams, how you can defend that as a fine Christian that you think you are.
Fair enough.
Alrighty, well, I don't claim to be a fine Christian, Otangelo. I'm certainly not as righteous as you.
And why should people
so
listen
you
to
take
you?
that with you to the kingdom of heaven in happiness, and you'll get up there and say, well, hey, at least I was better than Smokey. So congratulations to that. I'll give it to you. You're a better Christian. Take it with you and enjoy it.
I'm not better than anyone, Smokey. I am not claiming to be perfect
I disagree with that. You're better than Smokey.
or without error or something like that. But in my understanding, what you are doing, your channel here, is just disgusting.
Well,
just disgusting. You are not serving the Lord. You are just serving yourself. You are not doing a service to the kingdom of the Lord. And you are not helping people to come closer to the Lord and to feel attracted to who we are and who you are.
Oh, you said foreskin?
Yeah. Damn! Can I just say damn? Fuck. Angela laying down the heat. Holy shit.
Honestly, like I said, Otangelo, you are allowed to say you're better than Smokey. That's a very low bar. I would say most people are better than Smokey.
I would say most people are better than Smokey, even when they're not trying to be. Not much of an achievement, but
like I said, it's an incredibly low bar.
Yeah, but holy crap! I mean, I don't know if Otangelo is trying to stay on Smokey's wish list, but yeah, that is not a good way to do it.
I like it because something which I also accused Smokey of some time ago, which is I thought he was just role playing a preacher. I don't think he's genuine. I really don't. I think he's been indoctrinated quite hard into the faith, and that's why he seems to rely on this knowledge. And he's come online and found a little niche for himself, and is role playing basically as a proper Christian.
According to Stupid Whore Energy, he might enjoy role playing quite a bit.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Define role playing, because if it's the kind she's talking about, Smokey doesn't ever get the opportunities to do that.
And he's a lot smarter than most Christians that I've come across. I would say that she's probably correct.
All right, I will claim another ass skin.
And I am saddened and disgusted by your methods. And I feel really sorry. That's why
Get him,
I'm here.
Otangelo.
But you don't want to listen, because I told you that right in the beginning when I met you the first time. I came to your stream and I said, Smokey, this is not the way to treat unbelievers. They will not feel attracted and repent by this kind of spurious methods that you use constantly, using foul, dirty language, which even unbelievers don't use. Only hate, only disgusting language.
That's a statement. Really? You just have no shame. You have no shame, no honor, or integrity.
And now
like you'll even just go to these absolutes.
Did someone say foreskin?
You know,
oh, I just said that we see Smokey projecting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of scary when Otangelo is starting to make sense and he's actually right at once. And what Smokey's about to do, he's about to conflate atheism with anti-theism, which, interestingly, in one of the more recent videos, it seems quite clear now that he thinks atheists are also anti-theists. Which
I, for one, would not call myself an anti-theist.
Huh?
Oh, I said I, for one, would not call myself an anti-theist. I'm an anti-bigot.
Well, it depends how you define atheism. If you define it as just lack theism, then actually believing that God does not exist is anti-theism, apparently.
The thing is,
no. That needs something to be said on it. I do define myself as an anti-theist, but that's nothing to do with theism necessarily. It's more to do with religion. So, yeah, I mean...
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to separate the two.
I don't think it is. I think traditionally that's how it used to be used, and I think there's been a lot of this change over the years, I think, for anti-theism, to believe you're against theists. I'm not against theists, I'm against theism.
Yeah, that's anti-theism.
Yeah, and whereas atheists, I'm an atheist.
I don't mind if Joe Schmo next door believes in God, but I'm against the idea that organized religion is allowed to have some, some dominion and some control over some aspect of my life, simply because of the fact that that institution is given special authority because of it claiming to, cling to a role of historical significance.
Sure. And funnily enough, I know some theists that have the same view. So, yeah. And Sam would be a great addition to any crew.
I don't know who Scientist Sam is.
He's
a great guy.
Cool dude. All right, fair enough. I mean, if he ever wants to join into something.
I don't think he makes much content anymore, but I know he used to.
Is he on the? Is he in the live chat?
No. Stupid War Energy just meant. She said, "You guys should convince Scientist Sam to join the crew."
Well, why don't you bring him in, Stupid War Energy? For fuck's sake!
I have never heard of the guy before, so
I have him on Discord. I just never thought to do that.
All right. Anyways, we'll get back to playing. But yeah, for the people who missed the first part during SNATA, Smokey and Otangelo have just been like taking backhands at each other this entire time. And the funniest part was in the middle of their prayer. The thing said, like, the reason the banner says, "Did you pray tonight, brother?" is because that's something Otangelo asked Smokey. And they were just like insulting each other during the prayer. They were like, "I hope I can get through my friend's thick ass skull and just finally convince him of something that makes fucking sense. Please, Lord, help me do this. Please, Lord, give me the strength." Like that kind of shit. It was so funny.
Otangelo asked him if he had been praying. It reminded me of Eric Hernandez, who after every discussion he has with an atheist, he's always, and I'm not bashing him for it because I don't think it's a bad thing to do this. He always just asks if he could pray with him.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Otangelo, he seemed very intimidating when he said, "Do you want to pray?" or something like that. Like, Otangelo came into this conversation kind of like pissed, which I once again, I respect the hell out of that. If you're willing to like, take on Smokey, props to you, my dude.
Well, it needs to be said, especially, it's the same thing that was said to Darth, right?
Yeah, especially from like the people like inside of that circle. It makes sense. Call that dude out.
Good on him for standing up to it. And again, I've seen quite a few theists go to Darth and say, "Look, what you're doing is counterproductive," and they're absolutely right. Right?
Yeah.
Otangelo was in the right here.
We did a poll one time, and it was who do you think is the most intelligent theist in our crew? Turned out to be a guy called Maximus. And then and then I said, "Who's done the most for atheism in our?" It turned out to be G-Man.
Fair enough.
I didn't know G-Man had a white sibling.
The one thing I did want to say is that Smokey straightforwardly does not know how to take criticism of any kind.
No, he doesn't know how to handle stress either.
No. He doesn't know how to handle boobs apparently either.
All right, I will continue the play.
Know for sure, Otangelo, that my methods don't work at all. You know that for sure. You know that for certain. Really? You got to go that far? You know that for sure.
He didn't make that.
Back that up again? You want to double down on that?
Did know you say that.
He didn't make that particular claim, so it's a straw man.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
For sure that I'm ineffective. You want to say that again? No, it's your judgment. No, it's your judgment. You must know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I'm useless to the kingdom of God. So go ahead, double down for us.
Kind of are.
You're useless to the kingdom of God.
I mean, you just made the point for yourself. So what?
I just did, and I did again with Jesus and the vipers. I made the distinction between those who are requesting and those who are attacking. Otangelo, you'll just be infinitely passive, even to the point of loving people to hell. That's the problem with you. You're a flaccid Christian. You're a salt without it.
Smokey projecting his sex life.
What'd you say, Immutable?
What do you mean sex life? That implies that he's had sex before.
I'm saying he's projecting his sex life.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he's flaccid. He has no sex life.
And then you want to condemn everyone that tries to convict them. And it's just a disgusting display to even stretch this level. And you say you're not a better Christian. You follow it up with all the things talking about how I'm a worse Christian than you. You can't even recognize the inconsistent hypocrisy pouring out of your mouth.
Did you say pause?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. Okay, so it was Smokey that brought up the fact that he thought he was a worse Christian, or Otangelo was saying.
Yeah, he has an inferiority complex for sure.
Not Otangelo saying that he was a better Christian.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one. This is another little trick that he's doing here. And secondly, I love what Angelo's doing here. He's letting Smokey hang himself by coming out with all of these fallacies and misunderstandings of what's actually being said to him. Right? Oh, I'm totally useless. I'll never bring anybody to God. No, he's saying your method of trying to bring people to God is ineffective. That doesn't mean nobody's ever going to be converted. Yeah, there might be some asshole out there that sees this and goes, "Yeah, I want to be just like Smokey." Right? But how many? How many? Right? And is that biblical? Is that really what Paul says is the way to bring men to the heart of the gospel? No, it's not. Of course, it's not.
All I can say is that if Smokey is trying to be a good influence in this community, it's not working.
Yeah, I definitely feel like he has a net negative influence.
And if that's the best magic trick he's got, I think I can hire a few people that can do a little bit better. Just a little bit.
I think we can go a little bit further than that as well. We can say, well, those that he surrounds himself with are also such bad influences on the community. He's really harming theism online, and he just proves this is it. If you want to be a theist apologist online, you better have your shit together because it's going to be tested.
Well, but the thing is, too, though, right? I do want to extend this to more than just theists, because I do see it happen in certain atheist circles where there's either a new atheist or an atheist that's, in my opinion, new. So atheists that have been around for like 1 or 2 years, they make a simple mistake, but people are sometimes too overly forgiving with it, and they don't always call out or aren't always perfectly honest with the person in terms of the mistakes that they're making, but they don't coddle the person either. Like even though like all groups are suspect of tribalism, and we shouldn't think that our own group isn't subject or potentially subject to the same type of thing. That,
Agreed.
That if I say something that's perhaps off base or maybe isn't the most logical, people might not necessarily snipe that down because they think that I might have been, they perceive me as being logical in the past. So,
right.
Yeah, I've never liked those arguments against or atheists that go around saying things like, "Well, we're the rational ones." I don't get that at all because I've got enough atheists rational.
I don't like viewing it as a popularity contest. I just like viewing it as what's your argument? Why do you say what you say, and why do you believe what you believe? Like, let's start from there, right? Let's start at a genuine, earnest point of discussion.
Agreed.
And see which of our foundations or which approach has more merit to it, right? I mean,
why would you want to know? It's usually going to be the same answer at the end of the day. It's something that convinced them. They had an experience, and now they draw their experience on their belief in God. Okay, so this is my reason to believe in God. We'll always get to that same answer at the end of the day, and it's still going to change their mind.
What people, and it's hard, right? It's a very difficult thing for people to accept because it means they have to change their internal structure of beliefs, but that what might be good for you in terms of making beliefs, like what you consider to be as a rational criteria for belief, may not actually be rational, right? I could believe in aliens for the same set of reasons a person chooses to believe in a god, right? So
there's some similarities, 100%. But my point would be, look, if this is something that gives you solace, number one, if this is something which gives you a way to have hope for the future, right? Well, believing in that is a rational thing to do. We all want hope in the future, right? Now, some of us, I would say, some of us, from all of my life, right? I've never needed that crutch, as I view it, all right, to have that hope in the future, because I'm naturally an optimistic person. But that's me, right? I'm not everybody. Some people are not like me. They're not made the same way I am, and I
get that.
They genuinely need that crutch in order to, feel that they are worthwhile as people. And if that's what they need, then I would say it's rational to believe that God exists.
I don't know. I mean, I think people like public speakers like Neil deGrasse Tyson and other people make good points in saying that, look, if you view the universe as a nihilistic place, right? If you view yourself as just being, this worthless speck, and at the end of the day, it's all going to be for set and naught, except for this God that's redeeming us. You should expand your view of the universe and like what it is and how, not magical necessarily, how, the magisteria of nature. And just how beautiful and how intricate and complex and interdependent the world is on itself.
But you're talking to people that don't have time to think about stuff like that. They work 9 to 5, and the only thing they're thinking about is how they're going to survive the next day.
You've cut out, Nathan. I think your internet's letting go a little bit.
I didn't.
No, he's fine for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Same
okay.
here.
But yeah, I get it. I mean, but part of it is part of changing your beliefs is changing your perspective about the world as well. I mean,
Agreed.
It's if you have this doom and gloom perspective on the world, of course you think that you're going to be in need of some kind of superhuman Herculean type of a figure that's going to rescue you and be your knight in shining armor.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the more scary truth and the unfortunate reality that we occupy is that, look, the world is a cruel, unjust, hard place. I mean, it doesn't mean that it has to be that way. I mean, it doesn't mean that humans can't try to conform it to our own will and that we can't strive for things like equality and justice and, liberty, right? But
I don't disagree with you. I mean, personally, I found my own answer to nihilism, which works for me, and that's my personal thing. But I don't want to judge other people by my standards.
Right. To me, I view it as like.
And I've heard people come up to me and literally say, if I didn't have this belief in the Almighty and the justice in the world to come, I would probably be a much worse person than I am.
Yeah.
And to those people, I would always say
the Duck Dynasty.
In my view, Simos, unfortunately, and I hate to say this to people when they say that to me, then I don't consider them a good person.
Yeah,
right?
If your fear of burning is the only thing keeping you from doing bad things, you're not a good person to begin with.
Because quite unfortunately,
correct, right? But then I would still advocate to them not to give up the belief in God, because that will make them a worse person than already them being a bad person.
Maybe it's better. It's
Phil Robertson, not Pat. Pat Robertson's the preacher dude. Sorry.
It's hard for a child to not learn when to and when not to walk across the street if they've never fallen on a street before, right? People learn by means of facing adversity. It's not to say that, perhaps this is one of the same situations, but it's also one of those things where you're doing just as much harm to the person by condoning and permitting that belief than you are by, not tearing it down.
I don't disagree with you. You know that.
No, I know.
If anything, I'm on the other side of atheism to you, right? I'm on the hard end of atheism. And also being an anti-theist, I wish we could eliminate it. I really do.
I think you would enjoy a conversation with Speed whenever he's feeling up to it, my guy.
Oh, that sounds good.
I don't think we need to. So my perspective is more so, I don't think we need to eliminate it as much as it's the case that
it will eliminate itself.
Well, it'll do that if it's destined to be so. But it's more so that, look, I mean, let's recognize religions for what they are. Let's recognize them for being cultural accounts of the world and, the mythos as being the history of certain cultures as an attempt to describe the world around them and as a way of, celebrating those traditions.
Yeah,
right?
That's not it, though. That's the problem. It's not just a description of the world around them, it's the world within us as well. That's it. That's what it attempts to describe. Now, I'm not trying to say that it's true and it should be believed because of that, right? At all. I'm just saying there are some people that are not made as we are made, right? In that, or evolved, right? Shall we say?
Yeah.
And they genuinely do find solace, right, in this idea. Okay. Now, I don't want to take that away from them because otherwise they'll be worse people than they already are, right? Or they'll go back to drinking a lot, or whatever reasons that they've come up with in their own rationale, right, to be believers, right, for whatever it's covering. And that maybe we want to just leave that covered and just go, okay, you go through your life, right? That's fine. No one's going to come up here and say that you're an absolutely terrible person and that you have to give it up. Right? And that's my it has been now for some years since meeting what I call really good Christians who are genuinely good people and feel that they can't survive the roughness of life without this what I consider to be a false belief.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
the only thing I'll stop this conversation because I know we need to get back to the video, but
you're good.
The only thing I'll respond to in terms of that is in saying I would rather someone spit in my face and be honest with me than for somebody to be, than for me to view that person as a liar and for me to know them as being dishonest. I would rather have an open door policy with a person, even if they hate my guts. It's one of these things where, especially because humans are a social species and we are living in a global culture, right? That certain dark emotions, like certain feelings people have about how they want to treat their fellow man and fellow woman, and these dark and almost taboo thoughts people are feeling. These are thoughts that need assistance, right? There's a reason as societies that we've created safety nets and methodologies by which people can go about and talk to people like therapists who are trained to help people get over, this type of depression or this, and to kind of reform this kind of mindset in a way that's more transformative. Having that just concealed, having that just being something that's locked away and saying, oh, well, I'm glad that you believe it. That just keep believing. Just, if you keep doing it hard enough, eventually you'll be there. Seems to me almost, I don't know, in a way, putting a Band-Aid on an issue without really applying the ointment.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I'll certainly reconsider that as a thing. I don't think it's for everybody, and that's kind of my argument. But yeah,
that's fair.
What you're saying makes perfect sense to me.
All right, Speed has officially declared aft skin, so I say we honor his wishes.
Before we do that, I did want to say,
God fuck.
If anybody spits in my face, they might be missing some teeth.
Gotta catch some hands from Leo.
Just straight the fuck up.
No, I'm not saying I'm not going to respond to that. I'm just saying I'd rather they do that to me, and be honest with me than to lie to me.
So you'd rather somebody spit in your face and say, "Hey, I just spat in your face," and say, "Hey, I
llama that shit across the room."
Doing it and lying about that.
I'd rather say I wouldn't spit in my face, say, "Hey, you're a retarded autistic fucking spurg," than to be like, "Oh no, I think you're a clever dude." If that's how they truly feel. Now, that's not to say I'm not going to get pissed off and knock their ass out. But I would rather them to be honest with me than for me to perceive them as a liar.
I'd rather not have to knock them out in the first place. That would be mine.
No, I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't want to either. But you spit in my face. It's happening.
There's certain lines in the sand that are not going to be tolerated when they're crossed.
Yeah, I will.
You spit in my face, and I'm going to do to you what Gregor Clegane did to God. What the fuck is his name? Son of a bitch! How am I missing it?
Cowboy?
No. Gregor Clegane's from Game of Thrones. What the fuck?
Oh shit! I thought you were talking about the Irish
the guy that fought. And why can I not think of his name?
Not the butcher.
I thought you were
son.
making a UFC
God
reference.
damn it! This Oberyn Martell. There we go.
Oh shit!
So
Yeah.
if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, you don't know what scene I'm talking about. But the Mountain punches him once and knocks out like half the teeth in his mouth.
All right, Askin.
Even as you try to defend yourself, how Antangelo, that's fine.
And
You want to hold your head high with this level of condemnation, saying you're not condemning and how great you are for not being condemning while you're condemning. Dude, it's astounding. You find it disgusting, fine. Well, I'll tell you what, keep doing your thing. Start doing videos about me. Guess what? Pick a number. You can join up with the rest of the God haters, degenerates, heathens, and heretics like you already have. You know that you just wanted an opportunity to jump on the pile and hate on me, clearly. And you've joined with pretty much every really disgusting human being under the sun in order to do so. You must feel really proud. You must feel really proud that you're helping the atheists and the heathens and the heretics, try to go after Smokey. You must feel in really good
You are attacking God by attacking Smokey.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic because Smokey is going after him for attacking, so Smokey's attacking Joel, and he's going after Otangelo for not attacking Joel, and now Otangelo's attacking Smokey, and he's saying you hate God by attacking Smokey.
Yep, and now
whatever.
Smokey is saying that by attacking Smokey for Smokey attacking Joel for Otangelo not attacking Joel, that Otangelo attacking Smokey is Otangelo attacking God.
God, there's too many levels of attacking going on here.
Essentially, let's put it this way. Smokey's
a hypocrite.
Attacking him is equivalent to Otangelo attacking God because Otangelo isn't being vitriolic enough about how much of a piece of shit Joel is.
Yeah. Essentially, Smokey's a hypocrite.
Wait, whoa. Strangling the Truth just gave us a link to apparently something that's going to be epic. Let me go to this. Don't anybody fucking tell me what it is till I get there. I want to see it for myself.
Yeah, I think you'll be disappointed.
Oh shit!
I'm not gonna lie, Speed.
No.
What is this?
Oh, Joel got dropped.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Standing for Truth's channel tomorrow. Saturday. Debate the Trinity versus Monarchianism. Smokey Saint versus Praise I Am That I Am.
I don't know what Monarchianism is.
That's the opposite of Trinitarianism.
Really?
I believe so. I might be wrong.
So Praise isn't a Trinitarian?
No.
Oh, no! No wonder Smokey hates him now.
Yeah, I just had to. I hit set reminder because that's going to be.
I will be honest. That is probably going to be a dumpster fire, my dude.
Well,
big stuff,
dude.
Anything that involves Smokey is automatically a dumpster fire by default.
Yeah, just to point out
against
Crash burn.
Just beg your pardon. Just to point out, Newton was not a Trinitarian, by the way.
Newton was like Isaac Newton. No, he was an Arian. Arian.
I don't know about that even.
Well, no, he was, according to the scholars anyway. They considered him an I don't know if it's Arian or Arian because one of them.
Arian.
One of them. I think Arian is like what Hitler was. I always want to get the pronunciation right.
He believed
Arian is what Hitler was. So
yeah, the whole blonde-eyed, the whole blonde hair, blue-eyed bullshit.
Yeah.
Perfect race.
But no, Newton didn't believe that Jesus was the Son of God.
Huh.
That's the point.
Wait. So, what time is his live stream?
No, this is on Saturday at
21 hours time.
No, he said it's tomorrow.
21 hours.
It'll be at 9:30 tomorrow. Well, for Walker, it'll be at
8:30.
Yeah, 10:30 my time, 9:30.
So like I said, I will be hosting a live stream on this channel tomorrow night at like 6.
Yes, you will.
6:30. Yeah. Meme review tomorrow. AIG meme review. Be there, be square. It'll be fun.
I know.
Mad Max is live right now celebrating 900 subs.
That's it. Wait, Mad Max is Maddox, right?
Yeah, I'm calling him Mad Max now because in his debate last night on whether there was voter fraud or not, I don't think the dude was necessarily referring to him, but he mentioned something about Mad Max. Dude, Maddox got stomped in that debate. The dude just kept...
his position is not supported. Go ahead.
Yeah, by anybody.
Yeah, standing. A good method for polling usually is like straw polls. Oh, wait, you're talking about the actual polls. Or are you? No. He's talking about polls for like who won. Yeah, straw polls are typically a good idea for seeing like who.
Between like Praise and Smokey.
Yeah.
I thought y'all were talking about like Biden versus Trump, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, straw
I
poll.
remember that
just put it in a straw poll.
Smokey's gonna win it just because most Christians that are watching are gonna be Trinitarians and are just gonna say he won, regardless of how well he argues his case, because they're also Trinitarians.
No, but here's the thing, though. According to a few of Smokey's most recent videos, he's actually been getting more downvotes than he has been upvotes.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, I guess.
I think it's because he's been going after the young Earth creationists, and he got a lot of cross-pollination in his audience from like SFT and Maddox and stuff whenever he was going on those live streams a couple months ago.
Yep.
So I think he's sort of almost biting the hand that feeds him in this.
Well,
the videos I've been watching, he got more likes than dislikes still. Dislikes are going up, but...
Yeah, nobody can win that debate because... as I understand it, there was a bit in the Bible which has been added to include the Trinity, right? So unless you want to prove that some of the Bible is actually false, right, then you're on a hiding to nothing. You
I just disliked the video.
You just can't win that debate, I'm afraid, mate. Sorry.
I just disliked this video to improve his dislike ratio.
Yeah, likewise, I did as well. I was the first person to dislike as well. It was 1-0.
Fair enough.
Let's see. Did I just like the video? Let me check. God, I need to do that.
Oh, you meant the Trinitarian versus Monarch. No, I meant this video that we're watching on Smokey's channel. I just disliked it on the stream.
Well,
I thought it was funny.
Somebody needs to literally just like delete Twitter off of the internet until they add a fucking edit button.
Oh, that'd be so nice, dude.
They never will either. Like, they literally never will.
No, they won't.
All right. Well, anyways, I will I will call it.
Askin.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're clearly on the right track, right? You're clearly on the right track, worried about the opinions of atheists who hate our God, who hate our religion, and you're worried. You're all concerned how they're going to see me. Really? Really, Atangelo? Like, you sent out an email attacking me. You didn't care about how they looked at you then. That's an underhanded, shady tack. I wouldn't care. And what vulgar language do I use? I don't say the F word. I don't say.
What vulgar language does Smokey use?
I don't use the F word. I don't use the B word. I don't
say fuck. Therefore, I don't say anything vulgar.
Yeah.
All I said is the woman is a cunt. She's a bitch. She's a cow. I don't know what I'm saying that's vulgar.
Yeah, and also just to point out that atheists are not the only one that needs to be brought to the gospel, according to the gospel. Right? There are other religions in the world which need to be brought to the gospel. So it's not God haters and mockers, as Brett King would say, alone. So again, another fallacy. He's got no fucking idea. Now he's including all theists. Right? Earlier, Catholics weren't Christians even.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, all theists are on his side.
I've never understood why evangelicals don't consider Catholics to be Christians. They just say because they're blasphemous or they're heretics, but they don't give any specifics.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, this comes down to whether you believe through faith or works, or salvation. It comes down to salvation, whether it's through faith or works. And the Catholics believe it's works as well as faith. And evangelicals believe it's only faith and works.
Yeah, because the evangelicals don't know their own fucking religion.
Well, there's also that they don't want to submit to the Pope as well. So that's why most people don't like these.
Even though Jesus literally established the papacy, like Jesus himself established the papacy.
Was it Jesus? I thought it was.
Really.
Yeah, he did.
It was Paul.
Jesus. I believe it was Paul, the first pope. Was it Paul?
No, it was Peter.
Peter, there you go.
That's what I meant.
But
Peter,
Pope,
yeah,
all popes
because because it's the whole "I shall make my rock on you, Peter."
He's a cornerstone of the church or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
But nonetheless, I mean, that's added later anyway, isn't it? So
I don't know.
That's not original.
The Bible's been rewritten so many goddamn times. Who the hell knows anymore?
Do you want to know what I like to say about the Bible? And this triggers so many fucking Christians. This is how I word it. The Bible is a book written, it's actually a collection of 66 books written over the course of 1700 years by 40 different authors from 9 different countries. It has been translated, mistranslated, and retranslated literally thousands of times from and into thousands of different languages. It's a book that mentions magic, that mentions potions and incantations and talking animals and monsters and sea monsters and leviathans and dragons and unicorns and cockatrices and all this other stuff. It's got necromancy and all this stuff in it, but no, you're right. We should live our lives by it.
I thought you were going to say that the Bible is about the best exchange rate for toilet paper per page you can get in the market.
You're not fucking wrong there.
I wouldn't use it as toilet paper. It rips too easily. It's only 1 ply, so
And also, it might be 67 in some religions or some Christian doctrine.
There you go.
All right, I will restart the video.
Why are you going to restart the whole
stigmatized.
thing?
Well, not like you know what I mean.
You meant
I
what?
use colorful language. Trash, cockroach,
All the
garbage.
time.
That's
crime,
colorful.
chicken.
That's colorful.
You see, he doesn't use vulgar language. He just uses colorful language. Of course.
That's colorful language. Okay, so if I call Smokey a bigoted cracker, is that colorful? Because all right,
you're bordering on vulgar there because society has determined that to be a vulgar word. But if you call him cockroach,
but if I call
him a bigoted cockroach,
no, but
it's
Walker,
okay.
you see, if I call that colorful, it must be colorful because I called it colorful.
Oh, well, you got me there. Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
The voice is in my head.
What you do. That's basically the essence of your channel.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not, Atangelo.
Yeah,
you want to say that? By the way, you want to say that like everyone
Hey,
else?
look at the comment sections of each of your videos. Which one you did not trash people at any of your videos?
So I don't have any peaceable conversations with anyone ever.
Oh, we had someone leave.
Not really.
I would say at least half of all the comments that you make, you use foul language.
So now we're from all to half. Now we're from all to half. Okay, that's good. So now do people have to do anything to get me to a point of that where I am actually either rebuking them or calling them for what they have displayed, which is generally either low wit.
Yes, they do have to do something that's reasonably challenge you on your idiotic and obviously unsubstantiable beliefs and make you look like the fucking idiotic fool that you are when they do it, like I have done numerous times. Like I recently did on Dave Neff's channel, and Immutable was there, and I don't want to sound conceited, Immutable, but I just ran circles around him. God, that was so funny.
You're gonna like the next video we reviewed because he claims he owned you there.
I know.
Is that going to be a SNATA thing?
Oh yeah, that was interesting. Because
is there a specific point you want to call this video? Immutable?
How much longer do we have?
How long is the video? It's fucking 3 hours. We're not going to watch 3 hours of this video.
No. It has about 8 minutes left.
Yeah,
okay.
Right. The change between them goes to like 57 minutes.
Okay. Then yeah, that's fine. We could probably pull that out tonight. Fucking 3 hours though? No.
No. I did not sign up for 3 hours.
I don't think you could pay me enough money in the world to just sit there and watch Smokey for 3 hours. Actually, no, you definitely could. You could definitely pay me. You could pay me probably like $100 and I would do it. That's my price. If anyone was curious,
it's not bad.
Slow character or
Isn't that all what you're doing? Do you do something else besides name calling people and thinking that you are the stupid
what's so weird, Atangelo?
Who knows everything better than anyone else?
You know what's so freaking weird is you actually have a channel where you actually bother asking people to follow evidence, and you're completely incapable of doing it yourself. It really is just one of those key important moments of just pristine irony on your part.
I mean, I don't disagree.
Notice how he deflected, though. Notice how he deflected away from Otangelo's criticism.
Yeah, that's called a tu quo fallacy, isn't it?
Yep,
it is.
No, another fallacy from Smokey saying we've only had 3.
I thought he was like an expert at like logic and philosophy, though.
He is.
He would never make a fallacious argument ever.
Yeah,
he would never over exaggerate his abilities at being able to interpret statements from first order propositional logic either.
Yeah, he was God, what video was it where I was in the side chat trolling a little bit, and he mentioned that anytime somebody says that they know something about philosophy, I just throw this logic problem. He said, when it's not a problem, it's just a statement, and says, "Oh,
he said it was an equation.
You don't know logic," which is not what I did. What I did is, Smokey said something about speed, and then I challenged Smokey, and Smokey stated that he knew more about logic than both of us. And I was like, "Oh, really? You know more about logic than I do?" And then he made some vitriolic statement about how he knew more than me. And so I said, "Okay, can you tell me what this statement is saying?" And still to this day has never told me what it means. And when me and Immutable both each explained it to him 4 times, he still doesn't get that it's not an equation, it's not a function, it's a fucking statement that utilizes the most basic symbols that even a first semester undergraduate in Philo 101 would understand. And and Immutable can attest to this, straight up admitted he took a Philo 101 course, and it's just essentially sidestepping the fact that he obviously doesn't.
It wouldn't be so. Typically, according to the most curriculum I've seen, unless you're in like a logic course, you won't encounter first order logic symbols.
Predicate. No,
maybe,
propositional.
Yeah, you won't encounter like propositional logical symbols necessarily. But you might see it as being used as an example of how logicians use those symbols. But either way, Smokey has claimed to take like 3 or 4 courses in philosophy, so he should have encountered it, but he really has not.
Either way, Smokey's an idiot. All right, anyways.
Here I am trying to walk you down the path. You're so blatant to not accept it. The fact that someone has to reveal these negative character traits for me to attribute to him and use it to him. You know what? You're falling into the same thing that Speed did. Speed went around saying, Smokey says this to everyone. It's not true.
But you do.
That's not true. You have to show yourself as a disgusting human being to get called a disgusting human being. You have to.
You just have to disagree with Smokey.
Jay Pasek is here. Yeah, literally the whole thing. So the whole thing was Speed and Smokey disagreed on abiogenesis, and Smokey was like, you know what? Do you think Hitler achieved nirvana? And Speed was like, well, yeah, he died. And then he's like, what a terrible trash clown human being. It's like, oh my God. It was so fucking out of context.
And keep in mind, right, that this was actually a conversation that stemmed from that Speed was having with Anthony Maurice.
Yeah.
And Smokey chose to interject it because we all know Anthony Maurice really can't hold his ground on abiogenesis. And so what did Smokey do? He decided to deflect it into the realm of morality. And even though he knows that Speed is a secular Buddhist, he tried to interpret it to mean that Speed somehow views this notion of nirvana as being just like heaven, when no, Speed views nirvana as being death.
Yeah, but even like, theistic Buddhist, I don't know if there's a such thing as theistic Buddhist, but he's like a materialist Buddhist. Even the Buddhists who believe in like reincarnation and shit wouldn't tell you that nirvana is like heaven. That's so stupid. Oh, thank you, Speed. He called me the best trash clown. I'm a trash clown in his heart. But yeah, no, that's so stupid. Speed just thinks that like, all right, you die, you achieve peace, right? That's what you would call nirvana, more or less. I don't know his actual philosophy. I haven't had a true conversation with him about it, but it's fucking stupid. Yeah, I mean, according to Smokey, if Hitler was, God-fearing Christian, get fucked. All right.
And he was. And
show yourself as a complete belligerent moron to be called a belligerent moron.
That's debatable.
You have to show yourself as a belligerent rejecter of Christ, gutter trash, fit for the fire, before you're going to be called gutter trash, fit for the fire. You do not get these things from me when you are requesting, when you are asking, when you are looking for information, when you want to have those types of conversations because you're genuinely looking for the truth.
Right.
You don't get that from me. You get it from me when you're trying to attack my faith, my brotherhood. For God's sake, Satangelo, Ronnie was being a disgusting, nonsensical, meandering prick to every single Christian,
even
all
doesn't say
these
anything
young,
vulgar.
innocent girls on the internet for
Did he say
years.
non-meandering?
I came in and started.
What happened?
Did he say non-meandering prick?
I didn't hear. I just heard him. He said something about him being a prick, which I just find funny.
Yeah,
because he just said that he doesn't say anything vulgar.
Nonsensical, I think. Nonsensical, meandering prick.
Oh,
I think
nonsensical. Okay, those kind of slurred together and Smokey.
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
A colourful prick.
Colourful prick.
Just a little prick.
Right.
Started
Just a
really
little prick
going
on the
at
finger.
him, and I mean going at him hard, to the point where he started directing all of his attention to me. And I convicted him so bad at one point, that he finally did concede.
How
and
bad
actually
did
finally
you
made
convict
that
him,
apology
Smokey?
video to MMA, which was long due and long necessary, showing his recognition of the disgusting, evil things that he was doing and promoting. And he hasn't been attacking women.
Sorry, can you just
ever
go
since
back?
at all.
Go back how much?
Yeah, well, he just mentioned MMA. What?
Emma
May.
Emma May Jenkins.
Emma May Jenkins.
Emma May.
At which most people seem to say MMA Jenkins.
MMA Jenkins.
People say MMA, and I'm just like Emma May.
Yeah, it's Emma May.
In there.
Oh, Emma May. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not MMA. Yeah, not the acronym.
You gotta remember, Jay. What God? I want to say Simon, and that's not what it is. Simos, I think that's what it is. He's a Brit bonger. He doesn't understand our weird accent.
Well, I've also never heard of MMA. I've heard of MMA, but I've never heard of MMA.
Yeah, Emma May Jenkins, brace face.
Yeah, I've heard of her.
Yeah, he did a couple of videos because she's this really bubbly kind of Christian girl. You know, it's so great, and you know, it was.
Smokey's like, you're not enough of an asshole for me. Is that?
Yeah, it was not. It was. You know, it was good fun for Knock, and Smokey just like, you know, had to come in there and tell Knock. You know, basically what Smokey's doing right now in this video is telling Antangelo how he got Knock to basically lay down, roll over, and pee a little bit of it. You know, completely submit like a puppy.
Yeah.
In fact, I've put a whole environment in order to make him a hypocrite if he did so. Now, I have used my own tactics to manifest lots of these changes. I called out Tog and PMARS in a pretty harsh fashion, which you yourself condemned. PMARS now is making more sense than he ever has. He's actually reading and listening to us, and so is Tog. Tog respects me more than ever and looks forward to me to showing up in his streams. Yes, Antangelo, lots of benefits have been done. Lots of benefits have been done for my methods. And for you to come in here and condescend and judge in your ignorance, in your disgusting...
How many you've got it mid-wind.
I have to rewind again?
No, I say you've got him. He's winding up. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I was just curious. I just wanted to add this little point. How many has he gained and how many has he lost in Smokey's mind? Because he's at war with an entire other group.
Nephilim,
he's talking about he's talking about, Tog's now respecting me. PMARS is now talking to me. But how many other people has he been fighting with now? So it's
does Tog even respect him? I don't think Tog has really changed all that much. And I don't know about PMARS. I haven't really seen PMARS around.
PMARS is getting kicked out of quite a few hangouts now for his bad behavior.
PMARS is a fucking
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think Tog has really changed any of his positions. But I obviously haven't really watched him or kept up with his content, so I don't know.
Ego and pride and ignorance and obliviousness of what I have been doing on this channel. The fact that I am right to people when it's appropriate to do so. That I am calm and gentle when the situation calls for it. And that I can come down on someone when they're going to attack, and I can make them feel shame when they need it. I'm proud of this. I'm proud of this. It's something I honed after years. In the exact.
What is it?
Pride is a sin.
That is true, isn't it? Damn.
Shame when they need.
Yeah, shame when they deserve it. He will bring down the hammer of the Lord.
You will see. What is it? Oh God, what does Cartman say? You will experience the wrath of God.
You will respect my authority.
And you have to add after everything you say. If you really want to be a true a Baptist pastor.
Oh my God, you're reminding me too much of Kenneth Copeland, my guy. You gotta stop.
Yeah,
oh my God, I've seen that video. It's fucking awful. Please stop it. You're giving me flashbacks.
I've seen a video that Smokey actually does that in. Oh fuck, man!
No.
I laughed so hard.
There's a video of Kenneth Copeland who's like, they're saying Biden is our president. Ah ha.
Oh,
It's
that,
like the most awkward and like confusing video I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, he's a demented old man. So
Yeah, no, fucking Kenneth Copeland is more likely to be the Antichrist than any of the people they say is the Antichrist.
COVID-19.
I blew you away.
By the way, that I think what Copeland was doing there was just basically going, how do I make myself sound more and more like I'm just faking an orgasm on TV?
He's just like, what can I get away with, guys?
No, I think he's genuinely lost his mind. I really do.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have seen Smokey pretending to be exactly that kind of pastor, where he's preaching with the fire and brimstone of the Lord.
Oh no, I've definitely seen that as well. Yeah,
it was so funny. It was so funny because it's so faked, right?
Well, he's deep in it, Simus, where he lives, man. He's all about Sin City because he's like balls deep in the Coachella Valley, just south of, it's like Central Valley, California.
He's balls deep in stupidity. That's what
he's in the new Sodom and Gomorrah, Coachella.
Yeah.
All right, Askin, I'm gonna get back to the video so we can hopefully finish it tonight.
To make sure that things that needed to be seen were seen. And I believe that that's one of the things I'm being used for here now. And all you want to do is condemn me every step of the way. Ignore the results, ignore the benefits, and just focus on your own personal distaste with the methods. All you can do is cherry pick the verses, which I just told you are directed to people that ask, that really want to know, that we discern are on a path of truth. Not those who are attacking in defiance, denying the fact that you even need a savior, that you want to tell us all we have to respect just so that you can have your long-winded pontificating conversation about nuclear.
I've got to stop it there. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, he said those who we discern are on the path of truth. Right? He means I. When he says we, he means I discern.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right? I mean, if there's nothing more heretical in the biblical sense than someone saying that they speak for the Lord when they don't, it's honestly, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, the one that he did just recently, the one he's talking about, him hating the people that hate God. I thought it interesting. I was chatting with Slim Jim about this a little bit, and I said, "Does he?" I said, "I want to know where his logic stems, or how his reasoning works. How that is not like like an Islamic extremist, and how they view infidels. How he borders between hate and this righteous, kind of like jumping to that righteous killing kind of thing.
Righteous indignation.
Yeah. Well, you're going from, and he would say righteous indignation, and then you would say, okay, can righteous indignation lead to righteous killing on God's behalf? And then see where he's going from there, because I don't know what's blocking him from going almost full America Taliban.
Yeah, it's definitely fundamentalist, because again, they say, right? These Christians say, don't hate the person, hate the sin, right?
He's like, nah, hate the person.
You don't, yeah, and he's like, no, hate the person. It's not the sin. We all sin. Everybody sins. So just hate the person that doesn't repent from it. And this is, of course, judging in God's stead, which is, of course, a sin in itself. So
yeah.
It's crazy. That's
just funny as fuck. I've never actually thought about that. He's just like, yeah, fuck it, hate the person.
Yeah, that's what he's saying here.
Well,
it points out that's fundamentalist behavior all the way down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Tides with. I want to actually accomplish something at Tangelo. I want to actually convince people they need the gospel. that they need a savior, that they need a Messiah. You are oblivious. Maybe you don't live here. I don't know if you live in America. You probably
No, he
don't.
doesn't. Why is
Which
he
is why
so-
you're going to be so
Brazil,
harsh
you
from your cultural
smoked
norm
brain.
coming down on me, how I'm acting.
Oh my god, he's just shitting on Otangelo for not living in America. What the fuck?
Well, Smokey's a nationalist. What did you expect?
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. He's just like, oh, you dirty Brazilian. Like, what the fuck, dude?
And the funny thing
Oblivious.
is, he's not Brazilian. He's Swedish and Italian.
Yeah, he's Italian, but he lives in Brazil now.
Yeah, Swiss and Italian, I think it is. Or is it
Oh
Swedish?
man,
I don't know. I know he lived in Italy for most of his for like a long time, but he's been living in Brazil for like 12 years or something. I don't know. I don't fucking care.
Smokey's got to be jealous of that.
Yeah.
Did he change his smoke thing? Has it always been like that, or was it always meant to look like angel wings?
No,
Oh,
that's,
shit.
that's just where it paused.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I scooted it back because I accidentally talked during him just insulting Otangelo's nationality.
Looks like something from
You
the
don't
show.
live
Lucifer.
here. I don't know if you live in America. You probably don't. Which is why you're going to be so harsh from your cultural norm coming down on me, how I'm acting. But my freaking country is burning. And it's burning because of flaccid, useless pacifists just like you.
No.
That sat there and told us for decades that we have to
How
tolerate
is he in Brazil?
and be kind and be soft and be gentle. Well, you know what they did? They ignored us. And they got worse. And they promoted their doctrines louder than we could do ours because we were so focused on being this infinite passivity. And now our cities are burning.
Hold on
and
one
people
second.
are dying.
Yeah.
He does realize that loud doesn't mean right.
Yes, yes,
I don't know if he does.
yes, they do. Stupid whore energy. I'm about to just start calling her Sarah because I just hate saying stupid whore energy. Yes, Sarah, they do have it. Jair Bolsonaro is a Brazilian Trump.
Yeah, Bolsonaro. Yeah. Yep. Just call her swore. That's what you should call it. Just swore.
Swore. I like it.
Well, I can say her real name because there's like 4 other YouTubers I know that just called her by her real name. Unless she tells me not to call her by her real name, and then I'll stop.
I'll just say swore.
SWE. Why not?
SWE. Well, that doesn't shorten the amount of like syllables in the name.
Okay, that's what it's about. If that's what it's about.
Anyways.
Neither is calling her beautiful, but it might be the truth anyway. I don't know.
All right, I'll get back to the video.
Did you just see her?
I'm ready to start speaking before it gets worse. To start trying to make people feel shame, the sense of the necessity of needing a Messiah, what their disgusting morals point to and create. Not daring to validate speed 1 second longer after he shows himself as someone wanting to support pedo propaganda.
He didn't.
I'm sorry. I just got to make that laugh. I got to make that
Where are
laugh.
your ethics?
You got to make it last longer. Is that what you said? That's the fucking like Skype train laugh or whatever.
Yeah. I've talked about this movie Cuties, and I don't agree with your assessment of the movie. Therefore, I'm a promoter of pedo trash. Fucking incredible.
Yeah.
He's still hung up on that shit.
Yeah,
Fucking
no,
amazes me.
Smokey calls me a pedophile, despite the fact that I am largely attracted to a 34-year-old grown woman.
Well, I wouldn't say she's grown, dude. She's kind of like, you know.
Well, you didn't let me finish. I understand that she's
matured,
as short as a hobbit. She's as short as a hobbit, despite being much more attractive. But she's 34 years old.
Well, with that, since the video's paused, I got to take off. I got to do something. I might come back, but if not, have a good one, guys.
Peace out.
Peace, dude.
See you, Jay.
Some of us do this shit at work, and I still got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Fucking Speedo, pedo pudding.
Speedo. Haha, Speedo.
Has a certain ring to it. It does. Speedo, pedo pudding. Just like pedophilius. It's got a ring to it. Yeah.
Pedophilius? Honestly, pedophilius is a pretty good one.
Whenever I actually meet Emilia Clarke, I'm just going to tell her, hey, I'm a pedophile because I'm attracted to you. And she's just going to look at me like, what? And I'm going to be like, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, this rando dude on the internet called me a pedophile. I don't know.
Where are your morals, Otangelo, while you're condemning me and validating them?
You're projecting, Smokey. All you're doing, you're projecting on others, on me. And whatever you said tonight, Smokey, it doesn't shine through love, kindness, forgiving.
Oh my god, that was the best line of this entire video. You're just projecting, Smokey.
It was, because it's true.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Well, just to point out,
love it.
Before you do, just to point out, that's another fallacy called a non sequitur. He just made that.
Who, Otangelo or Smokey?
Smokey.
Oh, yeah.
It's telling the
Graciousness.
truth. Love is telling the truth. I wish you knew something about that. I don't think you
Not
know.
that way are you doing it. Yeah. Not by calling people names, not by calling women cows and e-whores, name calling all kind of people.
Oh, you're defending Jen now again? Really? Really? You're going to double down even on that disgusting
thing? You should be fucking insulting her in those ways. God, Smokey is so dumb.
Yeah? Yeah.
That's not my point, Smokey.
Wow.
The point is that people, they distancing from you. And they are distancing not only from you, but from Christians in general, because you are a bad example.
You know what? I'm going to tell you
there
something.
There are ways and ways how to rebuke people, and it's not the way
I'll tell you what.
How you are doing it.
Otangelo, I'll tell you what. You can join me in a prayer because I pray this prayer at least once a week, if not 2 or 3 times a week.
If it's not
Lord,
the Lord's
if my
prayer,
ministry is at any point displeasing you or not helpful or not beneficial, remove me. Do not allow me to defame your name or your honor or who you are or to misrepresent you. Go ahead and remove me. Now, I pray this all the time. And I ask for the Holy Spirit to guide me and lead me in the appropriate situation. So I'll tell you what.
Wait, so is his prayer basically just like, Jesus, kill me now if I'm doing it wrong?
Oh, we could only hope that it was true.
God, if he was smited right now, that'd be the funniest shit.
Well, I might become a Christian if he was smited.
If he just gets struck by lightning.
I mean, it would be some kind of evidence. That's all.
Honestly, yeah, that's pretty solid. Pretty solid evidence.
Wait, well, hold on. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Did Sarah just quote from a fucking song that Emilia Clarke actually sung? I'm pretty sure she did. Wow. She just gained like infinite respect from me.
10 times lad points.
Infinite plus infinite.
You stick your name in that prayer too, along with me. And we all start thinking that maybe we should pray this. If we're, trust me, if I'm dishonoring God, I don't want to continue. And I would hope you would want the same. If you're validating evil and dishonoring God, I think you would want the same.
You are not listening to what
I will
others
ask
say
you to join me.
You think that you are righteous and that you have the right to call out and name call people.
Did you
to
listen
be
to me?
hostile.
Did you just listen to me?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so just join me in that prayer and let's let God sort it out, Otangelo. You say that it's stigmatizing me. You say people are leaving me, so let them leave me. Well, all you have to do is just leave me alone and let them leave me, right? That's all you got to do.
It's not only about you, Smokey. It's about how people see us as the body of Christ.
Okay. So what do you want to do, Otangelo?
I would encourage you, Smokey, to stop using foul language, to hostilize people, to call them names.
No,
it's not foul, it's colorful.
I'm not going to be flaccid, worthless, and useless. And
That's
not
what I said.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
What I said. No.
You don't call out evil, Otangelo. You don't call out evil. If someone asks you about a moral issue in the Old Testament, you send them a link to William Lane Craig. You're theologically useless,
which
in
is
this
funny
area of moral.
Because William Lane Craig has done and will continue to, over just the month of November, do more for Christianity and Christian apologetics than Smokey will ever do in his entire fucking life. Like, Smokey will never ever rise to even 1/3 of 1/2 of 1/8 of 1/100 millionth of the stature that William Lane Craig has.
Yeah, and it's also funny that Smokey's saying, like, Otangelo, you won't call out evil. What does Otangelo think he's doing right now? He's calling out Smokey for doing like shameful shit that he thinks is bad.
Yeah. If I was Otangelo, I would have been like, dude, I'm calling you out right now.
Yeah, that would have been such a good mic drop.
That would have pissed Smokey off.
That'd be such a good mic drop right there.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know where your moralizing is ultimately coming from with me.
Okay, listen to me. After you had all these useless, stupid rants at your channel with Joel,
Oh my God.
I had a talk with him, and I talked with him about the Trinity. We have gone through this, and after we had that friendly chat, he will figure out if his interpretation of the Trinity is correct or not. He is doing it in a very rational, peaceful way, and he will just seek if the interpretation that he has is correct or not. But what you did Smokey, was disgusting.
How do you not know that what I did is what led him to you so that you could follow through and do that? Why are you invalidating part of the body of the Holy Spirit just because?
Wait, so was he saying praise God before this? So like, was that the whole like, Lord, give me strength so I don't blow up on this dude? Because I think that's why he was saying that.
I do.
And then he fucking snapped. Oh my God.
I have no fucking.
Well, no, it's because he's just been rebuked again, right? He's just called like he's just flung out the hand of compatriotism and Christian like evenness to say, look, we're both Christians here. What are you just still doing this for? And Angelo's come back and gone, you're not being a Christian. That's the fucking point.
Yeah.
Now he's just about to invoke this. Well, I'm doing the Lord's work, right? Which is just completely fucking sidestepping what Angelo's saying. I love it. This is great. This is conceit of the very highest, right?
Oh no, it's entertaining as hell.
It's just conceit of the very fucking highest. It's somebody who's got Jesus up his arse, so he thinks that he's better than Jesus. That's basically what this comes down to. And I love Othangelo's calm demeanor because he's sort of going, yeah, well, Jesus, I can't speak for Jesus. I just think this is not what it says in the scripture. Right.
Yeah, no, it's incredible because like this is on Smokey's channel, and I don't think anyone's going to come away from this video going, yeah, Smokey is in the right.
Well, I'm sure Smokey supporters will because, Smokey's doing the righteous thing, and that's what the people that are being attracted to him like. But again, that's Othangelo's point. You're only attracting these people that are going to have this attitude.
Yeah, who are already like bigoted assholes, pretty much.
Exactly. Yeah, and I don't think this video will be up for that long. I don't.
It's been up for a week already.
Okay, well, Smokey will get there eventually and realize that he said a load of fucking like fallacies, right, and hasn't responded to it. Although, I'm not. He may well be delusional enough to think he comes out. Good
there's a lot of cognitive dissonance there for sure. And hello, Mr. Parker. Welcome.
Yeah.
Hello. All right.
Disgusting.
How do you not know that what I did is what led him to you?
Whoa. Who let this godless, heathenistic Marxist communist in here?
Man, I've changed my ways. I am now a right libertarian, God-seeking,
you're an
fundamental.
We went from Marx to Rand that quickly.
Dude, I just fell down a slope. I fell down the hill.
Hey.
Welcome, comrade.
You could follow through and do that. Why are you invalidating part of the body of the Holy Spirit just because you don't like it, Angelo?
Because I talked to Joel, and what he says about you, you know it.
I don't give a crap what Joel says about me. Look at what Joel says about God.
That's your problem.
Look at what Joel says about Einstein.
That's your problem.
Look at what Joel says about Spinoza.
That's your problem, Smoke. That's your problem. You do not listen what people say to you.
No, Joel's a liar. I don't care about the opinions of cockroaches.
You are so arrogant, Smoke.
Arrogant.
You do not listen to what people say to you.
You
should stop and listen to what people say to you. Yeah, of course, because you are arrogant.
You theological
what you are.
Heretic.
You think you are the right one. You know everything better, and you have the right to name call people the way you want. It's not the way that you have to direct us to other people.
I have the right to call out garbage, Otangelo. I have the right to call out people being disgusting, like you.
No,
Ben.
you don't.
Like
no,
you
you don't. That's not the way that the Lord has directed us to treat people, to call women cows. That is not even atheists which behave in such a disgusting manner.
Of course they do, and worse. And worse. Have you even watched what Ronnie was doing on his channel?
I wouldn't say that I've ever called a woman a cow. Like, usually I don't go out of my way to insult people. The farthest I'll go is I'll say Smokey's a bigot, and that's demonstrable. So
he is.
Yeah, there's no question there.
That is the hardest I have ever seen Otangelo go off. Ever.
Yeah, no, dude, Otangelo was fucking tearing into him. It was beautiful. I cried a little.
Nice. You know what? I wish I was still a Catholic apologist just so that I could tear into Smokey because, ooh, it would be fun. But I can do it as an atheist too. So
I cried a little. That's very funny.
Thank you. All right. As Stupid for Energy says, don't call women cows. All right.
I've seen stuff that could fill a warehouse that's 10 times worse than anything I've said. and you want to defend me calling Jen an e-whore? She is an e-whore. She shows up and wants to flash her boobs so she can get tips online and talk about hating God. Oh boy, we better respect her. Tangelo said so.
Foreskin?
My
Sorry.
Goodness.
Yeah, it wasn't pausing. Good.
Jen does not talk. Oh my god.
Oh, night speed.
Oh my god. Jen Aldrich does not make philosophically atheist oriented content. It just doesn't.
She does like
she talks politics and social issues from more of a secular perspective. Yes. She might talk about being an atheist, you know, being in the atheist community. But if she's talking about atheists, more often than not, it's addressing the problems within the greater community. Smokey just, like with literally everything, does not know what the fuck he's talking about.
I guess, you know, looking at the red bra a little bit too long for Smokey has caused some brain damage or something, I guess.
He plopped a blood vessel.
He probably did.
Yeah, and it wasn't in his dick.
Oh, no, I meant like aneurysm. Yeah.
That was probably the most boob he's ever seen in his life. I would bet a lot of money on that.
All right, let's get this finished. I feel like we're almost, I see the finish line.
Yeah, she's really gonna. Yeah, all those Ray Comfort people are really reaching her. That's for sure, Tangelo.
Did he just say Ray Comfort people?
Yeah. I mean,
does he think Ray Comfort is like some softie or something? Like people fucking Ray Comfort's annoying as fuck, but like, it's not like he's like sucking off the atheists or something.
Oh no, he's just annoying them. But and strawman, of course.
Yeah.
But again, this was this little last outrage about this other person, Jen, whoever she is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she's a lovely person. But that was only there because Otangelo said, well, you called someone a cow. He didn't. Now, Otangelo didn't even mention the name. Now, Smokey's gone off to try go around the circle again of missing the point, right? Of saying, look, it's because you're calling people, doesn't matter who it is, right? And now he's talking about one specific person again and going, well, this person is just a terrible person. That's not the point. Point is you're using language to describe somebody, anybody, in a negative way, which doesn't need to be done. You can't be more effective by calling them names if you wish to change their behavior. Right? That's never going to work. As far as I'm aware, it's never worked in the history of humanity. It's never worked in psychology. If you want to get through to somebody and change their opinions, calling them a name is not the way to do it. So again, he's just missing the point by deflecting and going, well, this person really is a bad person. So why shouldn't I call them a name? Completely misses the fucking point.
Yeah.
And it's just a deflection, of course, which is all he's been doing now for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
Woman that feels no shame for being disgusting, all that talk about needing a Messiah. What does she give a crap? She didn't feel bad about anything she does. She didn't feel bad about anything. Neither did Joel. Neither did Joel. You know what? I wonder, Tangelo, you're so confident. You think you would have talked to Joel before I did? Before we had this throw up, before I exposed him and embarrassed him?
I know Joel for years.
Oh,
they actually do have a history.
Yeah, they do.
For years. Did you know him when he was doing a bunch of...
Did someone say something?
Yeah. So is Smokey's philosophy like they shouldn't be happy to like sin and stuff? So I guess I guess Smokey doesn't feel bad when he drinks a little bit.
I would say Smokey doesn't have a philosophy because he doesn't know what the fuck.
His main philosophy is just like, we're justified to be dicks to other people because I'm better than them.
Yeah.
Pretty much. As far as I can tell, that's his main position.
Pretty much.
Lies and revisions and disgusting things on Wikipedia. Did you know him then too? Oh, you did. You were willing to validate him then as well. Oh, so you're just fine with degenerate, disgusting, heretical liars. And you were gonna. So you've known him for years, had no clue he's not even a Christian, doesn't even have any passable understanding of Christian theology.
Who are you to judge people who is a Christian?
Well, he has no knowledge of who God is.
Who gave you the job to judge?
He has no knowledge of who God is. It's
Christian and who is not.
No, it's just simple. He has no knowledge of who God is.
Where does the Bible direct you to judge and condemn people?
But Tangelo, I'll make it real easy for you.
Show me the versicle, Smokey.
I'll make it real easy for you.
Show me the versicle, Smokey. Show me the versicle where the Bible
says... Show me the verse that says Trinity. Show me the verse that says Trinity. No, that's not how it works.
No, it's just mocking.
Is he just making fun of him for asking for a source, like a biblical passage?
Yeah, because he doesn't have one.
Dude, Smokey, who was it that Smokey went off on the other time because he was like saying that he's just making up shit in the Bible? I think it was it P. Mars or was it Tog? It was Tog. Yeah, he was. Tog said that like I'm guided by the Holy Spirit who's inside me. He's like, no, you're just making shit up. This is literally just Smokey making shit up.
Yeah. Well, isn't that what religion?
We're midway through Smokey making shit up. He's just about to make the shit up, right? And deflect once again, right? The question was, show me a biblical verse which justifies condemning people that are Christians or claim to be Christians, right? And he's just gone to, oh, well, you asked me for a biblical verse to support the Trinity. So therefore, you just asked for biblical verses. Yes. That's correct. Now give us the biblical verse.
Mark 3:16. Also, welcome back, Jay.
So this is going to be good. This next bit's going to be good. It's going to be him trying to avoid saying which verse justifies him to condemn other people for their Christian behavior.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, let's roll.
I've been waiting for this. I've been actually waiting for this to see if he actually has a justification for why it is that for some reason he can hate those that hate his God. He can hate those people who he says hate his God.
No. These are people that don't hate his God. These are people that agree that God exists and they love Jesus, right? He's still going to condemn them.
I know. He rolls over his section in the video where he's talking about atheists specifically, non-believers, and somehow sounds like he starts to... I haven't gotten through all of it, but it sounds like he tries to kind of carry that same thing right over to these Christians that don't necessarily agree or hold lockstep with him.
And indeed, he wants to mind. He's already included all theists once, right, as being part of his group, right? Now he's going to reduce it to just him, okay? And he's saying he does the Lord's work. Althangelo has just asked him, could you give me the biblical reference that allows you to condemn other Christians? And his response is going to be, you asked me for a biblical reference for the Trinity, and then he's going to deflect in another way, but we don't know which way yet. So
How much time is left?
That's not how it works.
Not much.
That's not how it works. We don't do that whole show me an explicit verse to back this up, or else I'm not going to believe it.
Keep ridiculing me. Is that the Bible which is directing you to ridicule other people?
Yes, you're worthy of ridicule tonight, Tangelo. You've been disgusting. You've not actually addressed anything I called you out for. You're just trying to come back on me.
What a fine Christian. What a fine behavior.
I never claimed to be Tangelo. You're the only one trying to pontificate your superiority. I just want you to leave me the hell alone. I just want you to go back to your channel Do your 3-hour streams about abiogenesis and nucleotides.
Is he shitting on him for 3-hour streams? Because literally,
Pretty much, yeah.
It's a 3-hour stream he's in.
Wait,
yeah.
Okay, I got a couple more minutes.
Yeah, there's like 2 minutes left. Anyways, sorry. That was just kind of weird.
Validating heretics and morons like Joel, letting them feel good about wandering around in heresy, not knowing who God is. By the way, that's the issue at Tangelo. That's why I say Joel isn't a Christian, because he's so comfortable lying. He lies like it's breathing air. Lying about Einstein and Spinoza, and what, you never caught it? You were either oblivious to it or you were okay with it. Both are equally disturbing, frankly. The man is a degenerate liar. And then it takes this long, you knowing him for years, only now to find out, oh, wow, he doesn't even believe in the same God as me. He tries to turn John 1:1 into pantheism.
Let me ask you something, Smokey. Is your theology only just based on one versicle in Acts?
No. I gave you multiple examples of Tangelo. I pulled back the prophets. I pulled back to Jesus.
So what is the first commandment of Christ?
Oh my gosh, Tangelo.
Tangelo's getting it, man.
He really is.
I've really got tired. I've grown tired of your theological. I already answered this question. You could have responded to it earlier.
What is the first commandment of Christ?
Love the Lord your God.
And the second one.
Love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Are you doing that at your
Absolutely.
No,
absolutely.
No, you are.
Wait, did Otangelo think the first commandment was love thy neighbor, or was he just asking him to cite both?
He was just asking him to cite them.
Oh. Okay, sorry. Yeah, he's not loving his neighbor.
You're not. You're a liar.
Let me tell you my story.
You call people.
All right, let me tell you.
Let me tell you. Else.
Hey,
is that not in your name?
Let me respond, you degenerate little cockroach. I'm going to tell you why that's the case.
It's not vulgar. It's just colorful.
I put you in the back because you need to let me finish and actually respond to you instead of just yelling.
Seriously?
This is the issue, Tangelo. Oh, he just left. Just left.
Yep.
Good.
That's the end of that.
Good riddance.
Dude,
no accountability, no recognition.
What'd you say?
Where's Movable at?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's what Immutable wanted us to watch up to.
Yeah.
I don't know where he went. Maybe he fell asleep in his chair.
Movable. I'd scream, but I don't want to wake up the people in the other room.
Yeah, I would appreciate if you did not scream into my headphones.
Movable.
But yeah, so that was the Smokey Saint saga. Should we just watch to see what he has to say about Otangelo?
Well, I think we can guess, can't we? We can guess he's saying by using colourful language, he's telling them the truth.
Calling him a disgusting.
I mean, it's nonsense, of course, because as I said, if you wish to tell someone the truth, the last way they're going to accept it is by calling them names, right? So his own argument falls on the fact that he's trying to tell someone the truth, but at the same time, he feels calling them the names is the truth. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
No, this woman cannot be a cow. Let's just put that out there, right? That is literally a false thing, okay? That cannot be the case. Humans are not cows, right? Even your God told you, right, that the animals were made on a different day.
Well, he also just called Otangelo a cockroach.
A cockroach, there you go. No, literally, that is false, right? That cannot be the truth. You cannot be speaking love, right? If you're not speaking the truth, and if you're not speaking the truth, that's Angelo's fucking point, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So no, quite literally, he is wrong again.
I kind of want to look at the comments just to see,
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Oh, we got Kenny Rhodes commenting. Let's see what he says.
Oh God.
I just talked to him.
Do you want to read that out, or what do you want me to do? Yeah,
I don't know. He basically just says anyways, I've come to appreciate Smokey. He's who the Lord made him.
Just sucking his dick. So
yeah, he's basically just sucking Smokey off.
which is sad because I had a lot more respect for Kenny than that. I would think that he would recognize that Smokey is just a vitriolic asshole who doesn't actually stand to the values that he espouses.
Oh, I think these have been somewhat
everyone
pruned, shall we say?
There's only I don't know if he deletes comments, but there's definitely not as much support for Otangelo as I would expect, considering he was obviously far more reasonable in that conversation.
Of course.
Yeah. I guess that's the Smokey saga. We'll have to see what comes of the Praise versus Smokey. I expect at least a 9-hour stream from Praise and a 3-hour stream from Smokey following the debate.
He already did one.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, it's called Smokey. He calls him Smokey. But yeah, it's a 9, and I think it is a 9-hour hangout.
I mean,
oh my God!
I thought they were best of friends, though. I thought they were.
And he goes. Smokey has a 5-hour and 49-minute stream against Praise.
Yeah.
So when did they fall out? Because they used to be in each other's hangouts.
When Praise expressed that he's not a Trinitarian, the thing with Smokey is if you disagree with him on anything, he hates you. You're stupid. You're a degenerate cockroach, worthless trash clown piece of shit. And yeah,
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah. So they haven't even had their debate yet. Their debate is going to be tomorrow, and collectively, they have streamed a total of 15 hours and 30 minutes towards each other.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is made up. Right? This is made up. So that's all I'm saying. Right? They're laughing.
I don't know, man. When you get into like 3 hours into the 9-hour streams, it gets pretty real. You start to see biblical passages being thrown around and shit. It's very interesting. It's like the late night stuff. Good.
I actually got Smokey on a Bible verse because he said to refer to Paul on they were of us, but then they were not of us, and we sent them on their way. And I was like, oh, I was talking with him about something in a comment thread, and I would have I didn't notice it at first, but Slim Jim did, and he goes, that verse when he says to reference Paul, he's like, that wasn't from Paul, that was from John. Yeah,
easy mistake to make.
Yeah, he didn't like that, I don't think, but he never commented again. It went about 17 comments in, and it never went anywhere from there.
Yeah, they're never going to listen to an atheist about Bible verses, are they?
Exactly.
I found that before.
Well, he was the one that quoted it. It was just the fact that he apparently forgot where it was from.
Not surprised.
As I said, I think he's laughing. So fair enough.
You think this is a conspiracy between the two of them to boost their channel
count?
It's not working.
We'll see about that. I don't know. I basically Standing earlier called Praise a heretic. So
because
not a Trinitarian.
He went unit. He was a Unitarian modalist. This is Praise, and then he had a conversation with SFT and I think someone else, and then they convinced him of Trinitarianism, so he converted. And there's a video of this on Praise's channel where he gets away from Unitarianism, went to Trinitarianism, and now for some reason got away from Unitarianism, went to Trinitarianism, and now he's back to Unitarianism.
Huh.
Interesting.
Weird.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're a weird bunch though, because they flirt with racism, don't they?
They what?
They flirt with racism. Like, I don't know if it's overt or not, because I don't watch their stuff.
Well,
I wouldn't be
with Smokey. It is overt.
Really?
The word nigger has flown on his channel, and Smokey said nothing. And when me and Smokey were having an exchange, he said me with my affirmative action education, I'm mixed. So that tells you explicitly what his underlying thoughts are.
Yeah.
Somebody thinks he's a victim.
But the same thing for Jesus is Lord, right? And
I feel like for the most part,
statements completely, I would call racist.
Yeah, I feel like for the most part, the creationists are pretty good at not being racist, but they're pretty bad at not being misogynistic or homophobic.
Jesus is Lord is a Nazi.
Yes, he is.
Oh, I have no idea who that is. I was just saying that as like a general rule. Like Kent Hovind's a piece of shit, but at least you can say he's not racist.
How do you know?
Walker, you don't know who Jesus is Lord is.
No, I don't keep up with these dudes outside of this channel.
Okay.
Who is this guy?
He claims to be black. Apparently he actually.
No. He claims he's black when it suits him. When somebody asks if he's a Nazi, and he basically appeals to being black because it's not possible for him to be a black Nazi. But then will repeatedly tell other people that he does not identify as black.
Well, whatever. Anyway, in a modern day debate that he had with Vosh, I don't know why the fuck Vosh agreed to debate this guy. Vosh pretty much revealed that, yeah, this dude's a Nazi. Like, straight up.
Like, does he, in what way? Like, is he calling for, like, genocide of Jews and stuff?
He doesn't.
That's not what Nazism is.
Well, National Socialism. Yeah. But, like,
United States.
Like, in what ways would you say he's a Nazi?
Yeah, you would have to go watch the debate.
Okay. Yeah.
It's very hard to describe him.
I don't go as far as to say that Jill is a Nazi. Do I think he's a classist?
Jill is a Nazi.
I think he's very much. I think the safest bet is to call him classist.
He's a Nazi.
Okay. Fair enough. I wouldn't. I think he's a piece of shit.
Either way, his recent video from today about election fraud was magnifique.
What is his channel?
I'll find it.
He cited himself as being dead.
I looked up Jesus is Lord, and then all I got was the Kanye song, obviously.
Love it.
Anyway, guys, I'm gonna take off. It's been
I think it's probably time to call it. 3 hours and 15 minutes has got to be one of the longest live streams on this channel.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. Okay. Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. It's pretty good to meet you all.
Right.
Of course, it was good meeting you as well. This is my first time talking to you, and it was pretty fun. So
yeah, definitely.
Hope to see you around, my dude.
Yeah,
for sure.
Thanks, guys.
I put the link to the video I'm referring to of Jill's in the private chat. So if you want to grab it before you leave, you can.
Yeah, sick. Thank you.
And that one hasn't rendered yet, so you wouldn't be able to find it on his channel. Anyway, I happen to have the link from when he went live.
Okay.
And let me know right before you end the broadcast, Walker.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to be ending it now. So get out what you need to get out, my guy.
I want to leave everybody on the panel and in the audience with this as it concerns Smokey saying, when the argument has been lost, insults become the ammunition of the loser.
Ouch! Mic drop.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say Stan Amelia Clark, but he's correct. All right, anyways, on that note, peace out, everyone. Good night.